Why your prayers don't work and how to fix it. Introduction. You pray, you hope, you ask. But the silence is deafening. You see others getting their miracles, their breakthroughs, their simple requests answered, and you wonder, what am I doing wrong? Is anyone even listening? If you've ever felt this way, you are not alone. This book isn't about blaming you or telling you to just have more faith. It's about giving you a new instruction manual, a new way of seeing the invisible world around you. The problem isn't that your prayers are broken. It's that your understanding of how this powerful force works might be incomplete, like trying to use a smartphone without knowing you need to charge it first. We are going to fix that together. We are going to explore step by step why the connection to the divine, to the universe, feels lost or broken. And more importantly, we will give you the simple, powerful, and practical keys to open that line of communication again, for good. This is not about religion. It is about your personal, sacred connection to the energy that creates worlds. Prepare to have your questions answered and your power returned to you. The silence is about to end. Chapter 1. The Great Spiritual Static. Hello? Is anyone there? Let us begin with a feeling. It is a feeling you know well, one that might be sitting in your heart right at this very moment. It is the heavy, hollow feeling of being ignored. It is the quiet desperation of sending a message out into the vastness of the cosmos and hearing nothing back but the echo of your own hopeful voice. You have prayed for healing, for a solution to a financial crisis, for a relationship to mend, for guidance in a moment of confusion. You have closed your eyes, clasped your hands, and spoken from the deepest, most sincere part of your soul. And then, nothing. The problem persists. The pain remains. The confusion deepens. In that silence, a seed of doubt begins to sprout. Is anyone actually listening? Does any of this spiritual stuff even work? Or is it all just a beautiful story we tell ourselves to feel better about the harsh, random nature of life? This feeling of being unheard is one of the most painful human experiences. It is a unique kind of loneliness, a spiritual abandonment that can feel even more profound than being let down by another person. When a person fails us, we can understand it. People are flawed, they have their own problems, their own limitations. But when the universe, when God, when the divine intelligence that is supposed to be all-knowing and all-loving seems to turn a deaf ear, the foundation of our faith can begin to crumble. This is not your fault. This is not a sign of your weakness or your lack of worth. It is a sign that there is static on the line. Imagine your prayer is a radio signal. You are a radio station, broadcasting a very specific and important message. You know the message is clear on your end. It is full of emotion, intention, and need. On the other end is the great receiver, the universe, ready to receive your broadcast. But in between you and the receiver, there is interference. There is static. It's a crackling, hissing noise that distorts your signal, scrambles your message, or sometimes drowns it out completely. So, the receiver never gets the clear message you intended to send. The problem is not with your broadcast or with the receiver. The problem is the static in between. This book is about identifying and clearing that static, once and for all. What is this spiritual static made of? It is not a physical thing, of course. It is an energetic interference created by the state of our own minds and hearts. It is a collection of our fears, our doubts, our unresolved pains, and our incorrect beliefs about how the world works. Let us talk about the first and most common source of static, the busy, anxious mind. Think of your mind as a crowded room where everyone is shouting at once. There is the voice of your to-do list, shouting about errands you need to run. There is the voice of worry, shouting about the bills that are due. There is the voice of past regret, whispering about mistakes you made years ago. There is the voice of future anxiety, painting terrifying pictures of what could go wrong. It is a chaotic, noisy place. Now, in the middle of this shouting crowd, you try to whisper a soft, sincere prayer. How can that gentle whisper possibly be heard over the deafening roar of all the other voices? It can't. The prayer gets lost in the noise. This is the static of an unfocused mind. A prayer sent from a place of frantic, chaotic energy is a frantic, chaotic signal. The universe receives this jumbled energy and cannot discern the clear, simple request at its core. It's like trying to have a deep, meaningful conversation with someone while a rock concert is happening right next to you. The intention is there, but the environment makes communication impossible. Think of Sarah, a woman who owned a small bakery. Business had been slow, and she was terrified of having to close the doors on her lifelong dream. Every night she would pray. But her prayers sounded something like this: "Oh God, please, please don't let my bakery fail. I don't know what I'll do. I'll lose my house. What will people think of me? I'm so scared. Please just send more customers. I need a miracle right now. I can't handle this." Do you feel the energy of that prayer? It is frantic. It is panicked. It is soaked in the energy of fear and lack. Sarah was broadcasting her terror, not her faith. She was sending out the signal of failure and scarcity so loudly that it drowned out the tiny signal of hope underneath. The static of her fear was overwhelming her request. The universe, which responds to our dominant energy, was simply picking up on the loudest signal she was sending: fear. The second major source of static is the heavy heart. This is the static of unresolved emotion. It is the low, humming frequency of sadness, anger, resentment, and unforgiveness that we carry around with us every day, often without even realizing it. These dense emotions act like a thick, heavy blanket, smothering the light, high-frequency signal of a heartfelt prayer. Forgiveness is a word many of us misunderstand. We think forgiving someone means saying that what they did was okay. It does not. Forgiveness is not for the other person, it is for you. It is the act of putting down a 100-pound bag of rocks that you have been carrying for miles. You don't do it because the rocks deserve to be put down. You do it because you are tired of carrying them. Resentment and anger are energetic poison. Holding onto a grudge against someone is like drinking poison yourself and waiting for the other person to get sick. It only harms you. It lowers your energetic vibration, keeping you in a state of bitterness and pain. When you try to pray from this state, your prayer is contaminated by that poison. You are trying to ask for love and light, but your signal is clouded with the darkness of your own unresolved anger. The universe can't deliver a message of peace into a heart that is at war. Consider Michael. His business partner had cheated him out of a significant amount of money years ago. Michael had won the legal battle, but he never let go of the anger. It consumed him. Years later, he was diagnosed with a chronic illness, and he began to pray for healing. He prayed with sincerity, asking for his body to be restored to health. But underlying every prayer was a current of bitterness. He felt life was unfair. He felt he was a victim. He was constantly replaying the betrayal in his mind, feeling the fire of that anger over and over again. His body was in a constant state of stress and inflammation, fueled by his emotional state. His prayers for peace and health were being sent from a place of internal war. The static of his unforgiveness was so thick that the signal for healing could not get through. The healing he needed was not just physical. It had to begin with the poison he was holding in his own heart. He had to put down the bag of rocks first. A third and perhaps the most subtle source of static is the static of unworthiness. This is a deep, often unconscious belief that we simply don't deserve to be happy, to be healthy, or to be abundant. It is the quiet, nagging voice in the back of our minds that says, "Who are you to ask for such a thing? You're not good enough. You've made too many mistakes. Miracles happen to other people, not to you." This belief system acts as a rejection field. Imagine you pray for a wonderful, loving partner to come into your life. You send out that beautiful request. The universe hears it and sends a wonderful, loving person your way. But as they approach, they bump into your invisible wall of unworthiness. Your own energy, programmed by the belief that you don't deserve love, subtly pushes them away. You might sabotage the relationship, find fault where there is none, or simply be unable to accept the love that is being offered to you. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. You cannot experience a reality on the outside that you don't first believe is possible on the inside. If you pray for financial abundance, but deep down you believe that money is the root of all evil, or that rich people are greedy, or that "I'm just not destined to be wealthy," you are sending two completely contradictory signals. It's like pressing the gas and the brake at the same time. You want to move forward, but your own limiting beliefs are holding you back. You are creating your own static. The universe is a mirror. It can only reflect back to you the truth you hold within yourself. If you believe you are unworthy, it will present you with circumstances that confirm that belief. This is not a punishment. It is a law of energy, as real and as consistent as the law of gravity. This brings us to the core of this chapter, the fundamental shift in understanding that you must make. The silence you have been experiencing is not an absence of God. It is not proof that you are alone. The silence is an invitation. It is an invitation to stop shouting into the wind and to start working on your radio transmitter. It is an invitation to go inward, to quiet the noisy mind, to heal the heavy heart, and to dismantle the false beliefs of unworthiness that have been scrambling your signal. You are not a helpless victim waiting for an external power to save you. You are a powerful creator who has simply forgotten how to use your equipment. You are the one in control of the dial. You are the one who can turn down the static. This may seem like a daunting task, but it is the most liberating work you will ever do. It is the journey from feeling like a beggar pleading for scraps to realizing you are a co-creator with the divine. Every moment you spend in quiet meditation, you are turning down the static of the mind. Every act of forgiveness you perform, you are cleaning the static from your heart. Every time you challenge a limiting belief and choose to believe in your own worthiness, you are upgrading your transmitter. You are not trying to get God to hear you. You are clearing the path so you can hear God. Remember the feeling we started with? The hollow feeling of being ignored. Let us replace it with a new one. The feeling of empowerment. The feeling of knowing that you have the tools to change your reality. The silence does not have to be a source of pain anymore. It can become a space of peace, a canvas upon which you can consciously create. When you approach prayer not as a desperate plea but as a conscious act of energetic alignment, everything changes. You stop asking, "Is anyone there?" And you start knowing, with every fiber of your being, that the entire universe is listening. It has been listening all along. It was just waiting for you to send a clear signal. Your power is not in the loudness of your asking, but in the clarity of your being. You are not broken. Your connection is not lost. It is merely obscured, waiting for you, the operator, to tune the dial and let the music of the universe flow through. So take a deep breath. Let that truth sink in. The frustration, the doubt, the years of feeling unheard, it all served a purpose. It brought you here, to this moment of understanding. It was the catalyst for you to seek a better way. The journey is not about changing God's mind, it is about changing your own. It's about clearing the static, so that the divine intelligence which flows through all things can work through you without interference. The power to have your prayers answered does not lie in some distant heaven. It lies within the quiet, powerful, and sacred space of your own heart. And in the chapters to come, we will walk you through step by step exactly how to access it. Chapter 2: The Cosmic Vending Machine. Misconception. For most of our lives, many of us have unknowingly subscribed to a deeply flawed and ultimately painful model of prayer. It is a model that sets us up for disappointment, frustration, and a crisis of faith. I call it the cosmic vending machine misconception. Let us explore what this looks like, because chances are you will recognize yourself in this description. The model is simple. The universe, or God, is a giant, celestial vending machine. It is stocked with all the things we could ever want. A better job is at button C4. Healing for a sick relative is at D7. A loving partner is at E2. And financial abundance is a special combination, maybe F9. Our prayer is the currency. We walk up to the machine full of hope. We decide what we want and we insert our prayer coin with sincerity and devotion. Then we stand back and wait for our desired item to drop into the retrieval slot. When it works, it feels wonderful. We put in the prayer and out comes the new job. We feel seen, heard, and blessed. Our faith is affirmed. But what happens when it doesn't work? What happens when we put in our coin, press the button, and nothing happens? Or worse, what if the wrong item comes out? We prayed for healing, but the illness got worse. We prayed for a relationship to be saved, but it ended anyway. Our first reaction is to get angry at the machine. We shake it. We kick it. We yell at it. I put my prayer in. I followed the rules. Why are you cheating me? Why are you broken? We feel robbed, betrayed by the cosmos itself. We see other people walk up, put in their coin, and get their snack with no problem, which only adds to our frustration. Why does the machine work for them but not for me? This single faulty analogy is the source of an immense amount of spiritual pain in the world. It is time to dismantle this vending machine. It is time to understand that the universe is not a passive, transactional mechanism that dispenses goods upon request. It is a living, intelligent, dynamic system that operates on principles far more profound and loving than a simple transaction. The reason this model fails us is that it ignores three fundamental truths of our existence: the law of free will, the wisdom of divine timing, and the ultimate purpose of our soul's growth. Once we understand these three principles, we will be free from the tyranny of the vending machine forever. Let us begin with the first and most powerful law: free will. Every single soul on this planet is endowed with the sacred gift of free will. It is the ability to choose our thoughts, our beliefs, our actions, and our path. This is a divine law that cannot be violated, not even by the most heartfelt prayer. This is a concept that many people struggle with because we so desperately want to help the people we love. You cannot pray for someone to fall in love with you if their soul does not freely choose to do so. You can pray for them to see your good qualities. You can pray for an opportunity to connect, but you cannot force their heart to feel something it does not. To do so would be to violate their most sacred gift. Think about it in your own life. Would you want someone else's prayer to be able to force you to take a job you didn't want, or to stay in a city you wanted to leave? Of course not. Your right to choose your own path is paramount. The same is true for everyone else. This is often where prayers concerning other people seem to fail. We pray for a loved one to stop drinking. We pray for a rebellious child to come home. We pray for a spouse to be more loving. These are beautiful, well-intentioned prayers born from a place of deep love. But the person with the addiction must choose sobriety. The child must choose to return. The spouse must choose to be more loving. Your prayer can surround them with light. It can open doors of opportunity for them. It can strengthen them. It can signal to the universe to place helpers and miracles in their path, but it cannot make the final choice for them. Let's look at the story of Maria. Her husband John was a good man, but he was emotionally distant. He worked long hours, and when he was home, he would retreat into television or his phone. Maria felt lonely and unseen. For years, she prayed that John would change. "Please, God," she would plead, "make him see me. Make him talk to me. Make him be the loving husband I know he can be." Her prayers were a constant attempt to use the vending machine to change another person's behavior. And for years, nothing changed. Maria only grew more resentful and unhappy. Then, after reading a book much like this one, she had a profound realization. She couldn't force John to change. His emotional distance was his choice, born from his own history and his own fears. Her prayer was a violation of his free will. So she changed her prayer. She stopped trying to control the outcome and started focusing on what she could control: her own energy and her own choices. Her new prayer became something like this: Universe, please grant me the strength to speak my truth with love. Guide me to create a space of warmth and connection in my home. Guide me to create a space of warmth and connection in my home. Help me to heal my own loneliness so that my happiness is not dependent on John's actions. And please, surround John with love and give him the courage to heal whatever is causing him to close his heart. I am open to any outcome that is for the highest good of us both. Do you feel the difference? The first prayer was an attempt to manipulate another person. It was born of lack and desperation. The second prayer is a prayer of empowerment, healing, and trust. It respects John's free will while actively working on the only person Maria has control over, herself. What happened next was remarkable. As Maria started focusing on her own happiness, finding hobbies, and connecting with friends, her energy shifted. She was no longer a needy, resentful presence, but a vibrant, whole person. This change in her energy created a change in the dynamic of the house. John, no longer feeling the pressure of her expectations, began to soften. He started asking about her day. He began to see the woman he fell in love with again. Her shift gave him the space he needed to make his own shift. Her prayer was answered, not by forcing him to change, but by changing herself, which in turn invited him to change. This is the correct use of prayer when it involves another person's free will. The second reason the vending machine model fails is that it has no concept of divine timing. In our world of instant gratification, we want everything now. We order a product online, and we want it delivered tomorrow. We send a text and we expect a reply in seconds. We have been conditioned to expect immediate results, and we apply this same expectation to our spiritual lives. But the universe does not operate on our impatient human timeline. It operates on divine timing, which is always without exception perfect. Sometimes the answer to your prayer is not no, it is not yet. A beautiful analogy for this is the farmer. A farmer understands that you cannot rush a harvest. There is a season for everything. First, you must prepare the soil. This is the inner work you do on yourself, clearing the static we talked about in the last chapter. Then, you plant the seed. This is the act of prayer, of setting a clear intention. Then you must water it with faith, weed out the doubts, and let the sun and the rain do their work. You cannot stand in the field a day after planting the seed and scream at it, "Why haven't you grown yet? I planted you yesterday." To do so would be foolish. You trust the process. You know that deep beneath the soil, unseen by your eyes, roots are forming, life is stirring. And at the perfect moment, a sprout will emerge. Many of our prayers are like this. We ask for our soulmate, but perhaps we are not yet ready for that person. Perhaps we still have healing to do, lessons to learn about ourselves, so that when that person arrives, we are whole enough to build a healthy, lasting relationship. To receive that person now would be to doom the relationship to failure. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, protects us by delaying the answer until we are prepared for the blessing we have asked for. Consider David, who prayed for years to start his own graphic design business. He was talented and passionate, but every door seemed to slam in his face. He couldn't get a loan. Potential clients fell through. He felt like a failure, like the universe was ignoring his deepest desire. He was angry at the vending machine. What he didn't know was that the universe was protecting him. In his current state, he lacked the business skills and financial discipline to succeed. Had he started the business then, he would have likely gone into massive debt and failed within a year, crushing his spirit. So the universe said not yet. Instead, he got a stable but unexciting job at a large marketing firm. For 3 years, he was miserable, thinking his dream had died. But during those 3 years, he learned about budgeting from the accounting department. He learned about client management from his boss. He learned about marketing strategy from his colleagues. He was, without realizing it, being sent to business school. He was tilling the soil. Then one day his company downsized and he was laid off. In the past, this would have been a catastrophe. But now, with a severance package, a wealth of new skills, and a network of contacts, he was perfectly positioned. He started his business, and this time it thrived. The universe's no was not a rejection. It was a preparation. The timing was perfect. This leads us to the third and most profound reason the vending machine model is a fallacy. It misunderstands the entire purpose of life. We are not here on this earth simply to accumulate things and experiences, to get all the snacks from the vending machine. We are here for the growth of our souls. We are here to learn, to evolve, to expand our capacity for love, compassion, wisdom, and strength. And just like a muscle in the gym, a soul does not grow without resistance. It does not strengthen without being challenged. Challenges, difficulties, and even the pain of an unanswered prayer are not punishments. They are opportunities. They are the universe's gymnasium. When you pray for the universe to simply remove a challenge from your life, it is often like a person in a gym asking the trainer to lift the weights for them. The trainer could do it, of course, but what would be the point? You wouldn't get any stronger. You wouldn't grow. The universe's deepest desire for you is not to give you a comfortable, easy life. Its deepest desire is for you to become the strongest, most brilliant, most loving version of yourself. And often, the path to that version of you lies directly through the heart of the challenge you are trying to pray away. Let's look at the story of Lisa, who was in a job she hated. It was a toxic environment with a difficult boss, and she prayed every day for a new job, for an escape. The vending machine, however, seemed to be out of order. For a full year, she was stuck, she was miserable. But in that misery, something began to shift. To cope with the stress, she started learning about setting boundaries. She learned how to speak up for herself respectfully but firmly. She learned not to take her boss's negativity personally. She discovered a resilience and an inner strength she never knew she had. She was being forced to develop the very skills she would need to succeed anywhere in life. The job wasn't the problem. It was the curriculum. It was her soul's training ground. After a year, a new job opportunity appeared, one that was far better than anything she had imagined. She aced the interview, full of a newfound confidence that she did not possess a year earlier. She got the job and thrived. Looking back, she realized that the unanswered prayer was the greatest gift she could have received. If the universe had simply given her a new job when she first asked, she would have carried her old patterns of being a people pleaser and her lack of boundaries with her, and she likely would have ended up in a similarly unhappy situation. The no was not a rejection, it was an education. So let us throw out the image of the cosmic vending machine for good. It is a childish fantasy that does not serve our growth. Let us replace it with a new, more powerful, and more accurate image. The universe is not a vending machine. It is a wise and loving dance partner. It is not about you making demands and the universe passively responding. It is a co-creation. You take a step, and the universe responds. It leads, and you follow. It presents a challenge, and you rise to meet it. In this dance, there is no failure, only learning. There are no rejections, only redirections. When you pray, you are not inserting a coin. You are communicating with your dance partner. You are saying, "This is the direction I would like to move in. This is the kind of music my soul wants to dance to." And the universe, your perfect partner, responds. Sometimes it says, "Yes, a wonderful idea, let's go." Sometimes it says, "Not yet, you need to learn a few more steps first, or you will stumble." And sometimes it says, "I have a much more beautiful dance in mind for you, trust me and follow my lead." When you adopt this new model, your entire spiritual life will transform. You will be freed from the anger of feeling cheated. You will be released from the impatience of wanting everything now. You will begin to see the challenges in your life, not as curses, but as sacred assignments from a loving teacher. You will stop praying for escape and start praying for strength. You will stop asking for things and start asking for wisdom. Your prayers will shift from a transaction to a conversation, a beautiful ongoing dialogue with the intelligence of life itself. You are not a customer at a machine. You are a student in the grand university of the cosmos, a dancer on the infinite stage of life. And your prayers are the music that guides your steps. Chapter 3. The Science of Intention. Your brain is a transmitter. In our journey so far, we have talked about the frustrations of prayer, the static that blocks our signal, and the misunderstandings that lead us to treat the universe like a cosmic vending machine. We have operated largely in the realm of the spirit, of faith and of feeling. Now we are going to take a seemingly sharp turn. We are going to walk into the world of science. For many, this feels like crossing a border into a foreign country where the language is different and the customs are strange. The world of faith and the world of facts have often been portrayed as enemies, locked in an eternal battle. On one side, you have the heart, the soul, and the mystery of the divine. On the other, you have logic, data, and the cold, hard proof of the laboratory. But I am here to tell you that this battle is an illusion. It is a story we have told ourselves for far too long. They are not enemies. They are two different languages telling the same magnificent story. They are two different windows looking out at the same breathtaking view. In this chapter, we will open that scientific window. We are not doing this to try and prove God or to reduce the sacred mystery of life to a series of equations. We are doing this to build a bridge of understanding that will allow your logical mind to shake hands with your faithful heart. When your logical mind can see the physical, measurable evidence that your thoughts and feelings have a real, tangible effect on the world, your faith is no longer a blind leap in the dark. It becomes an empowered, confident stride into your own creative power. You will see that the ancient wisdom passed down through generations is now being validated by researchers in white lab coats. You will learn that the spiritual principles of intention and belief are not just beautiful ideas. They are built into the very hardware of your being. You are, quite literally, wired for miracles, and the science proves it. We will explore 4 incredible areas of discovery: the living sculpture of your brain, the power of your attention to shape reality, the profound intelligence of your heart, and the ultimate proof that your belief creates your biology. Prepare to have your mind expanded and your power confirmed. Let us begin with your brain. For a very long time, we believed that the adult brain was a fixed, static organ. It was thought that by the time you reached early adulthood, your brain was essentially done. The personality you had, the habits you'd formed, the pathways of thought you used were all set in stone. You were who you were, and that was that. This belief was incredibly disempowering. It meant that if you were naturally anxious or pessimistic or bad with money, you were simply stuck that way for life. But over the past few decades, a revolutionary discovery has completely shattered that old model. This discovery is called neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is a simple but life-altering concept. Your brain is not hardwired. It is constantly being rewired by your experiences, your thoughts, and your focus. It is not a rigid piece of machinery. It is a living, malleable sculpture, and you are the sculptor. Imagine your brain is a dense, untamed jungle. Every thought you have is like a person walking through that jungle. The very first time you have a thought, for instance, I am not good enough, it is like the first person hacking a tiny, difficult path through the thick undergrowth. It is a struggle. But if you have that same thought again the next day, the path is a little easier to find. If you think it 100 times, a clear trail begins to form. If you think that thought thousands of times over many years, that trail becomes a deep, wide, paved superhighway. Your brain, for the sake of efficiency, will naturally and automatically send your energy down this well-worn highway. It becomes your default reaction. This is how a habit, a belief, or a personality trait is formed. It is simply a neural superhighway that you have unconsciously built over time. The science behind this is fascinating and simple. Your brain is made of about 86 billion nerve cells called neurons. Each neuron is connected to thousands of other neurons. When you have a thought or an emotion, a little electrical signal zips from one neuron to another across a tiny gap called a synapse. Every time this happens, the connection between those two neurons gets a little bit stronger. A Canadian psychologist named Donald Hebb famously coined a phrase to describe this. Neurons that fire together, wire together. The more you run a certain pattern of thought, the more those neurons fire together, and the stronger and more permanent their connection becomes. They wire themselves into a dedicated circuit. Now here is the magical part. Just as you can build these highways, you can also let them grow over, and you can build new ones. This is the promise of neuroplasticity. If you have a superhighway of anxiety, you can choose to stop sending traffic down that road. You can consciously choose a new thought. Let's say you choose the thought, I am safe and all is well. The first time you think this, it's like hacking a new, tiny path in the jungle. It feels awkward, unbelievable, and difficult. The old highway of anxiety is right there, so easy and familiar. Your brain will want to pull you back onto it, but you persist. Every single day, you consciously choose the new path. You think, I am safe and all is well. You meditate on it. You write it down. You say it out loud. Each time you do this, you are sending another person down the new path. You are firing a new set of neurons together. Slowly but surely, that tiny path gets wider. It becomes a trail, then a dirt road. And if you keep at it, with devotion and repetition, it will become your new superhighway. At the same time, the old highway of anxiety, now unused and neglected, will begin to be reclaimed by the jungle. The connection between those old neurons weakens. They are no longer firing together, so they stop being wired together. You are literally, physically, reshaping the structure of your brain with the power of your focused intention. How does this relate to prayer? It is everything. When you pray from a place of fear and lack, saying, please, I hope I don't lose my job, you are sending a massive convoy of trucks down the superhighway of job loss and fear. You are strengthening that neural network, making it a more dominant and likely reality in your experience. You are training your brain to look for evidence of job loss, to feel the anxiety of it, to live in that reality before it has even happened. Your prayer, in this case, becomes a tool for negative creation. But when you learn to pray from the end result, from a place of faith, you are building a new highway. When your prayer is a feeling of gratitude, thank you for the perfect, fulfilling, and abundant work that is flowing into my life, You're sending a crew to build a brand new superhighway called Fulfillment and Abundance. Let me tell you a story about a man named Arthur. Arthur had a crippling fear of public speaking. It had held him back his entire life. He had turned down promotions and avoided social situations because of it. His neural highway for public speaking equals terror was the biggest road in his brain. His heart would pound, his palms would sweat, and his mind would go completely blank at the mere thought of it. He decided to use the principles of neuroplasticity to change this. Every single day for 15 minutes, he would sit quietly and visualize himself giving a speech. But he didn't visualize the terror. He painstakingly visualized success. He saw himself walking confidently to the podium. He felt the smooth wood under his fingertips. He saw the friendly, smiling faces in the audience. He heard himself speaking in a clear, strong voice. He felt a feeling of calm, passion, and connection with the crowd. He imagined the feeling of pride and relief after a successful speech. At first, his brain fought him. The old fear signals tried to hijack the experience, but he persisted. Day after day, he walked that new path in his mind. He was firing and wiring a new set of neurons together. After 3 months of this dedicated practice, an opportunity came up at work to give a small presentation. The old Arthur would have run for the hills. The new Arthur, feeling a strange new sense of calm, accepted. When the day came, he was nervous, but it wasn't the blind terror of before. He walked to the front of the room, and as he began to speak, the images from his daily practice flooded his mind. His brain, now having a new highway to travel on, defaulted to the pattern of success he had carved into it. He delivered the presentation flawlessly. He hadn't just changed his mind, he had literally changed his brain. This is the power you wield every time you choose your focus. Your prayer is a construction project for your brain. What reality are you building? Now let us go from the inner world of your brain to the outer world of reality itself. We are about to step into the strange and wonderful world of quantum physics. Don't worry, you don't need a PhD to grasp this. The core concept is both simple and mind-bending, and it is called the observer effect. What quantum physicists discovered when they started looking at the very, very small building blocks of our world, things like electrons and photons, is that they behave in a truly bizarre way. When no one is looking at them, these tiny particles don't exist in one specific place. Instead, they exist as a wave of potential, a cloud of all possible locations and all possible outcomes at once. The electron isn't here or there. It is everywhere and nowhere simultaneously. It is pure potential. But the moment a scientist sets up an experiment to measure it, to observe where it is, something magical happens. The wave of potential instantly collapses into a single definite particle in one specific location. The act of observation, the act of focused attention, literally turns infinite possibility into a single concrete reality. This is one of the most profound discoveries in the history of science. It tells us that the universe is not a static, predetermined clockwork mechanism that just runs on its own. It is a participatory universe. Your consciousness, your act of looking, of paying attention, is directly involved in the process of creation. Think about this. At the most fundamental level of reality, potential does not become actual until it is observed. Your focused attention is a creative force. Where you place your attention is where the wave of potential collapses into experience. Let us use an analogy. Imagine a vast warehouse filled with every possible future you could ever live. There's a future where you are healthy and joyful. There's a future where you are struggling. There's a future where you meet your soulmate. There's a future where you remain alone. All of these potential futures exist simultaneously, like unlit light bulbs in the darkness. Your focused, intentional prayer is like a powerful laser pointer. When your mind is scattered and worried, your laser pointer is flickering all over the warehouse, weakly lighting up dozens of bulbs for a split second. No single future gets enough energy to fully manifest. But when you get clear on what you want, when you pray with focused intention and feeling, you are holding your laser pointer steady on one single light bulb. You are pouring your conscious energy, your observational power, onto that one potential reality. The observer effect suggests that this focused attention helps to collapse the wave of possibility, and draw that specific, energized future from the realm of potential into the realm of your actual lived experience. This is why clarity in prayer is so critical. If you are praying for more money, but you are constantly worried about your debts, your focus is split. You are pointing your laser at the abundance bulb and the debt bulb at the same time. The universe gets a mixed signal. But when you can hold your focus purely on the feeling and the reality of abundance, you are sending a clear, undivided signal. You are observing one reality into being. An athlete preparing for a race does this instinctively. They don't just hope they win. They visualize the entire race in perfect detail. They see themselves exploding from the starting blocks. They feel the rhythm of their stride. They hear the crowd roaring. And most importantly, they see themselves crossing the finish line first. They are running the race 1,000 times in their mind before they ever step onto the track. They are using the observer effect to collapse the wave of potential into the reality of a win. Your prayer is your visualization. It is your focused observation of a desired reality. You are not just a spectator in your life, you are a participant in its creation. So, we have a brain that can be rewired and a reality that responds to our focus. But what powers the whole system? What provides the energy for the rewiring and the focus? The answer may surprise you. It is not your brain. It is your heart. For centuries, we have seen the heart as a simple pump, a mechanical organ whose only job is to move blood around the body. The brain was the master, the intelligent command center. But once again, modern science is proving that ancient wisdom was right all along. Cultures throughout history have spoken of the heart as the seat of wisdom, courage, and spirit. And now an exciting field of research, pioneered by organizations like the HeartMath Institute, is showing us that the heart is, in fact, a secondary brain. It has its own complex network of neurons, neurotransmitters, and proteins. It is a thinking, feeling, and remembering organ. The discoveries are stunning. The heart sends far more information to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. Your heart is literally telling your brain how to perceive the world. Furthermore, the heart generates a powerful electromagnetic field. You can measure the brain's electrical field a few inches away from the head, but you can measure the heart's field from several feet away from the body. Your heart is the most powerful electromagnetic broadcaster in your entire system. This field is not just random energy, it carries information. Specifically, it carries information about your emotional state. When you are feeling stressed, frustrated, anxious, or angry, your heart rhythm becomes very erratic and disordered. It looks like a jagged, chaotic scribble on a graph. The HeartMath Institute calls this state incoherence. When your heart is incoherent, it sends a chaotic, scrambled signal to your brain. This signal disrupts your brain's ability to function properly. It inhibits your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for clear thinking, decision-making, and self-control. This is why, when you are very angry or scared, you can't think straight. Your heart is sending static to your brain, essentially taking your higher intelligence offline. But when you are feeling positive emotions like love, gratitude, appreciation, and compassion, your heart rhythm does something beautiful. It becomes smooth, ordered, and harmonious. It looks like a graceful, flowing sine wave. This state is called coherence. When your heart is in a state of coherence, it sends a powerful, stable, and ordered signal to your brain. This signal enhances your brain's function. It synchronizes the brain and the heart, creating a powerful synergy where your entire system is working in perfect harmony. In a state of coherence, you have better access to your intuition. You are more creative, you are more resilient to stress, and your body begins to shift into a state of healing and regeneration. This is the biological secret to effective prayer. Prayer from the head alone is a low-power broadcast. Prayer from a heart filled with fear and desperation is an incoherent, scrambled broadcast. It is pure static. But prayer that originates from a coherent heart is the most powerful signal you can possibly generate. It is a clear, stable, high-power broadcast that carries the information of your intention on the carrier wave of love and gratitude. This coherent signal not only organizes your brain, but it also radiates out from you into the quantum field, interacting with the wave of potential we talked about earlier. This is the feeling that the universe responds to. It is not an abstract concept. It is a measurable biological and electromagnetic reality. Your coherent heart is the amplifier that gives your prayer its power. This is why practices like gratitude are not just feel-good exercises. They are coherence-building technologies. Let me give you a simple but profound technique you can use right now. It is called the quick coherence technique. First, focus your attention on the area of your heart. Place your hand there if it helps. Second, begin to breathe a little more deeply and slowly than usual. Imagine you are breathing in and out through your heart. This helps to focus your awareness. Third, and most importantly, make a sincere attempt to generate a feeling of appreciation or gratitude for someone or something in your life. It could be a person, a pet, a beautiful sunset you once saw, or just the feeling of the chair supporting you. Really try to feel it in your heart area. Stay with that feeling for a few minutes. If you do this, you are actively shifting your heart rhythm from incoherence to coherence. You are changing your biological state. You are turning off the static and turning on your superpower. Practicing this for a few minutes before you pray is like tuning your instrument before a concert. It ensures that the message you send out is clear, powerful, and harmonious. Finally, we arrive at the fourth and perhaps most convincing piece of scientific evidence, the placebo effect. The word placebo is often used dismissively, as if to mean something is fake or imaginary. But the placebo effect is, in reality, one of the most powerful phenomena in all of medicine. It is the ultimate proof that your belief creates your biology. A placebo is an inert substance, like a sugar pill or a saline injection, that has no actual medicinal properties. In clinical trials, one group of patients is given the real drug and another group is given the placebo. The astonishing thing is that in almost every trial, a significant percentage of the patients who receive the fake pill get better. Sometimes they get dramatically better. They have experienced real, measurable physiological changes, pain relief, reduced inflammation, hair growth, even the shrinking of tumors, all from believing that they were receiving a powerful medicine. Let us be very clear, this is not all in their heads. The healing is real, the pain really does go away. The tumor really does shrink. The only difference is that the medicine was not a chemical. The medicine was their own belief. Their unwavering faith in the pill's power was the signal that instructed their own body to produce the necessary chemicals to activate the immune system and to create a healing response. The placebo effect is the most potent demonstration that you have a pharmacy inside your own mind. Your belief is the prescription. There is a famous medical story about a man named Mr. Wright in the 1950s. He was riddled with cancer and was considered to be on his deathbed. He heard about a promising new experimental drug called crebozoin and begged his doctor to let him try it. The doctor, seeing the man had only days to live, agreed. He gave Mr. Wright an injection on a Friday. On Monday, the doctor returned to find something astonishing. Mr. Wright was out of bed, walking around, joking with the nurses. His tumors, the doctor reported, had melted like snowballs on a hot stove. He had experienced a miraculous recovery. For 2 months he remained healthy, until articles began to appear in the press stating that the crebozoin trials were a failure and the drug was worthless. Mr. Wright read these articles, and his faith was shattered. His cancer immediately came back, and he was once again at death's door. The brilliant doctor decided to try one last experiment. He told Mr. Wright that the articles were wrong, and that a new ultra-refined double-strength version of the drug had just arrived, and he could be the first to receive it. The doctor then injected Mr. Wright with nothing but sterile water. The result? Once again, the tumors melted away. Mr. Wright's belief in the new drug was so powerful that it triggered another complete remission. He remained healthy until, tragically, a final definitive report was published by the American Medical Association stating that crebozoin was utterly useless. This final pronouncement destroyed Mr. Wright's last shred of hope. His faith collapsed completely, his cancer returned, and he died 2 days later. This powerful, tragic story reveals everything. The healing agent was never the drug. It was Mr. Wright's belief. When his belief was strong, he healed. When his belief was destroyed, he sickened. What is a prayer if not an attempt to activate this same power? What is faith if not the ultimate placebo? When you pray with absolute, unwavering conviction, believing with every fiber of your being that your prayer is already answered, you are swallowing the most powerful placebo in the universe. You are giving your body, your mind, and the quantum field the most powerful instruction possible. Of course, there is a dark side to this coin, known as the nocebo effect. This is when a negative belief creates a negative outcome. If a doctor tells a patient they have 6 months to live, that powerful belief can become a death sentence, a self-fulfilling prophecy. This is why praying from fear and doubt is so counterproductive. It is like taking a nocebo. You are instructing your system to create the very outcome you dread. So let us put it all together. Science now shows us that you can physically change your brain structure by choosing your focus. Neuroplasticity. It shows us that your focused attention helps to bring a potential reality into being. The observer effect. It shows us that the state of your heart creates a powerful energetic field that enhances this entire process, heart coherence. And it shows us that your belief is the ultimate switch that can trigger profound physical changes in your body, the placebo effect. This is the new instruction manual for your being. Science and spirituality are holding hands and showing you the way. You are not a passive victim in a random world. You are a powerful transmitter. Your brain is your hardware, your heart is your amplifier, and your focused, feeling-based belief is the signal you send out into the field of all possibility. The spiritual teachers of old were not speaking in metaphors. They were describing the literal mechanics of creation. You are designed to be a conscious creator of your reality. The question is no longer, does this work? The science is in. The question is, will you use the power that you have? You are wired for this. It is your birthright. Now, let us learn the language that this incredible system understands. Chapter 4. The language of the universe. It speaks in feeling, not words. We stand at a pivotal point in our journey together. We have cleared away the rubble of old broken models of prayer. We have seen how the static of our own minds and hearts can block our connection. We have even opened the door to the laboratory and seen how modern science is confirming the immense power we hold within our own consciousness. We know the transmitter works. We have seen the schematics. But now we must learn how to use it. We must learn the language. This is perhaps the single most important chapter in this entire book, because it contains the one secret that, once truly understood, will change the way you interact with the universe forever. Here is the secret in its simplest form. The universe does not respond to your words, it responds to your feelings. It does not speak English, or Spanish, or Chinese. It speaks one universal, elegant, and powerful language, the language of emotion, the language of vibration, the language of frequency. All our lives we have been trained to be masters of words. We are taught grammar, spelling, and vocabulary. We learn to construct articulate sentences, to persuade, to inform, to request. We believe that the more eloquently we can speak, the more likely we are to get what we want. So, naturally, we apply this same logic to our prayers. We search for the perfect, poetic, and holy-sounding words. We repeat ancient phrases, believing the words themselves hold some special power. We meticulously craft our requests, explaining to God in great detail exactly what we need and why we need it. And in doing so, we completely miss the point. We are like someone trying to communicate with a masterful musician by handing them a dictionary. The musician doesn't care about the definitions of your words. They care about the music. They respond to the harmony, the rhythm, the feeling. Your feelings are your music. Your emotions are the actual prayer. The words are just the sheet music, the container for the feeling. But it is the feeling itself that the universe hears. Let's explore this with an analogy we have touched on before. But now we will go deeper. Imagine you have a dog. You love this dog dearly. The dog does not understand the complexities of human language. If you come home from a terrible day at work, full of anger and frustration, and you look at your dog and say in a sharp, bitter tone, "I love you so much," what will the dog do? Will it hear the words, "I love you," and feel loved? No. It will hear the frequency of your anger. It will see your tense body language. It will feel the chaotic energy radiating from you. And it will likely cower, put its tail between its legs and back away. It is responding to the true message, the emotional broadcast, not the empty words. Now, let's flip the scenario. Imagine you have just received the best news of your life. You are overflowing with joy and love. You scoop up your dog, hug it tightly, and in the sweetest, most loving, cooing voice you say, "You are such a naughty, terrible dog." What will the dog do? Will it understand the negative words and feel bad? Of course not. It will wag its tail ferociously, lick your face and bask in the beautiful energy you are emitting. It is responding to the frequency of love and joy. The dog, in its beautiful simplicity, understands the language of the universe better than most humans. It knows that the feeling is the truth. The words are just noise. This is precisely how your prayers work. The universe is like that dog. It is feeling your frequency. When you pray from a place of desperation and fear, saying, "Please, please, I need this money, I'm so scared," the words you are saying are money and need. But the frequency you are broadcasting, the feeling the universe is picking up, is pure fear and lack. You are shouting, "I am in a state of lack," with every fiber of your being. The universe, which is an impeccable mirror and operates on the law of resonance, that which is like unto itself is drawn, can only respond by bringing you more circumstances that match your frequency of lack. It brings you more reasons to be scared, more evidence of not having enough. It is not punishing you. It is simply delivering a perfect reflection of the signal you are sending. Conversely, when you can learn to pray from the feeling of the wish fulfilled, everything changes. When you can generate a sincere feeling of gratitude and say, "Thank you for the incredible abundance flowing into my life. I am so grateful and secure." The words are about abundance. But more importantly, the feeling you are broadcasting is the frequency of gratitude on security and joy. You are vibrating at the frequency of abundance. You are tuning yourself to that reality. The universe, hearing this clear, harmonious signal, responds by bringing you more experiences and opportunities that match your abundant frequency. It brings you more things to be grateful for. It is a perfect feedback loop. The feeling you broadcast is the reality you receive. To truly grasp this, let's create a conceptual map of our emotional world. Imagine an emotional frequency scale, like the notes on a piano. At the very bottom of the keyboard are the low, heavy, dense notes. These are the low-frequency emotions that create a powerful static and attract unwanted experiences. At the very bottom, you have shame and guilt. This is the frequency of "I am bad" or "I did something bad." When you pray from this space, your prayer is contaminated with the energy of unworthiness. You are essentially saying, "I'm asking for this wonderful thing, but please know that I don't actually deserve it." The signal is hopelessly contradictory. It broadcasts unworthiness and attracts circumstances that confirm your lack of worth. A little higher up, but still in the deep bass notes, you find apathy and despair. This is the frequency of "what's the point? Nothing matters. Nothing will ever change." This is perhaps the most difficult state to pray from because it is a signal of total disconnection. It is a flat line. It broadcasts an energy of "give me nothing" into the universe, and the universe, honoring your state, obliges. It is a self-perpetuating cycle of hopelessness. Next, you have fear and anxiety. This is an incredibly common frequency in our modern world, and it is a powerful magnet for the very things we dread. Fear is a prayer for what you don't want. When you are consumed with worry about getting sick, you are marinating your cells in the frequency of fear. You are observing the reality of sickness with intense focus. You are sending a loud, clear signal to the universe that says, "Sickness is a major theme in my life." You are, in effect, using your powerful creative energy to attract the experience of illness. Think of the person who is terrified of being cheated on. They are constantly suspicious, checking phones, asking accusatory questions. Their entire being is vibrating at the frequency of infidelity and betrayal. This very energy often pushes their partner away and can, in a tragic twist of fate, create the very outcome they feared most. Their fear became a self-fulfilling prophecy. Just above fear is anger and blame. This is the frequency of "it's not my fault, the world is unfair, that person wronged me." This is the victim frequency. When you broadcast this signal, You are telling the universe that you are powerless and that outside forces control your life. The universe, as a perfect mirror, will then deliver more situations to you in which you can feel victimized and powerless. It will bring you more people and circumstances to be angry at. As long as you are pointing the finger of blame outward, you are giving your creative power away. You cannot create a sovereign, joyful life while broadcasting the frequency of a victim. Now let us move up the keyboard to the middle and higher registers. These are the high-frequency emotions, the ones that create, attract, and manifest blessings. The first step out of the darkness is courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is feeling the fear but choosing to act anyway. It's the frequency of "this is scary, but I am willing to face it, I am willing to try." This is a monumental shift in energy. It is the first signal that you are taking your power back. It is a prayer of empowerment, and the universe responds to this shift by opening small doors and presenting opportunities for you to prove your newfound strength. Above courage is acceptance and trust. This is the frequency of letting go. It is the feeling of, "I have stated my desire, and now I release the outcome to a higher wisdom. I trust the process of life. I don't need to control everything." This is an incredibly powerful state because it removes resistance. The desperate need to control the how and the when creates a bottleneck of anxious energy. Trust, on the other hand, opens the floodgates. It is a prayer of surrender, signaling to the universe that you are ready to be guided and that you believe in a benevolent outcome, even if you can't see the path. This is the energy that allows for divine timing to work its magic. As we move higher, we reach one of the most powerful creative frequencies available to us: appreciation and gratitude. Gratitude is the master key. It is the ultimate creative stance. When you are in a state of sincere gratitude, you are sending out the loudest, clearest signal that says, "I'm already blessed. My life is already full. I already have enough." And the universe, hearing this powerful declaration of abundance, has no choice but to send you more things to be abundant and blessed about. Gratitude is the frequency of receiving. You cannot be genuinely grateful and feel lack at the same time. The two emotions cannot coexist. Therefore, a consistent practice of gratitude is the fastest way to shift your entire reality. It is a prayer that is already answered. Let me tell you about a woman named Clara. Clara had lost her job and was feeling a deep sense of despair. Her days were filled with fear about bills and a growing sense of worthlessness. Her prayers were desperate pleas from the bottom of the emotional scale. Nothing was changing. Then, she was given a simple instruction. Every morning before you do anything else, and every night before you sleep, write down 10 things you are genuinely grateful for. At first, it felt ridiculous. Grateful? My life is a mess, she thought, but she forced herself. The first day, her list was simple. I am grateful for my cup of tea. I am grateful for my cat. I am grateful for the warm blanket on my bed. She didn't feel much, but she did it again the next day, and the next. Slowly, something began to shift. By focusing on what she had, instead of what she lacked, she started to feel a tiny spark of warmth in her chest. By the second week, her lists were getting longer. She was noticing more things: the beauty of a cloud, the kindness of a stranger at the store, the memory of a happy time. Her dominant emotional state began to shift from despair to appreciation. She was changing her broadcast frequency. And then, things started to happen. An old friend called out of the blue and offered her some freelance work. She found a $20 bill in the pocket of an old coat. A lead for a job interview appeared in an unexpected place. These weren't massive miracles, but they were a direct reflection of her changing energy. She continued her practice, and the small blessings snowballed into bigger ones. Within 2 months, she had a new job that was even better than her last one. Clara didn't change her circumstances by begging. She changed her circumstances by changing her frequency. Her gratitude was the prayer that unlocked everything. Finally, at the very top of the scale, you have the frequencies of love and joy. This is the energy of creation itself. Love in this context is not just romantic love. It is a deep, unconditional appreciation for life itself. It is the feeling of connection to all things. Joy is the pure, unadulterated bliss of being. When you can access these feelings, you are in a state of perfect alignment with the creative force of the universe. You are a pure, open channel. Prayers offered from this state are not even requests, they are declarations of being. Miracles are not something you ask for. They are the natural result of vibrating at this frequency. This is the state the great masters and saints spoke of. It is the ultimate goal, to live in a state of love and joy, where your entire life becomes one continuous, beautiful prayer. Now, the logical mind might be saying, this is all well and good. But how am I supposed to feel grateful for abundance when my bank account is empty? How can I feel the joy of a loving relationship when I am lonely? It feels fake. It feels like lying to myself. This is a valid and crucial question, and the answer lies in understanding that your brain and body cannot tell the difference between a real experience and a vividly imagined one. This is your secret weapon. You do not have to wait for the external world to change to feel the feeling. You have the power to generate the feeling first, on demand, which then causes the external world to change. This is not about faking it. It is about creating it. Let's explore 3 practical techniques to do this. The first technique is what I call the memory vault. Your entire life history is stored in your mind, a vast library of experiences and their associated emotions. You can consciously choose to check out any book from this library at any time. Let's say you want to pray for a loving partner, and you need to generate the feeling of being loved. Sit down, close your eyes, and go into your memory vault. Find a time in your life when you felt deeply, truly, and unconditionally loved. It could be a moment with a grandparent, a parent, a best friend, or even a beloved pet. It doesn't matter where it came from. Just find a pure memory of that feeling. Now, don't just think about it. Relive it. Bring it to life with all your senses. What did you see? What did you hear? What did you smell? Most importantly, where did you feel that love in your body? Was it a warmth in your chest? A tingling in your hands? A feeling of expansion in your heart? Immerse yourself in that memory so completely that you begin to feel the emotion welling up inside you right now. Your body will begin to produce the same neuropeptides, the same chemical cocktail, as it did in the original experience. You are literally recreating the state of being loved. Now, from this powerful, authentic feeling state, you offer your prayer. Thank you for the beautiful, unconditional love that fills my life. The prayer is now congruent. The feeling and the words are aligned. You are broadcasting a powerful, coherent signal. The second technique is the act as if method, or the principle of embodiment. This is about reversing the usual process. Normally, we think we have to feel a certain way before we can act that way. But you can also act a certain way to generate the feeling. If you want to feel more confident, don't wait for confidence to magically strike you. Ask yourself, how would a confident person walk? How would they talk? How would they carry themselves? What decisions would they make? And then, start doing those things. Walk with your shoulders back and your head held high, even if you feel scared inside. Speak with a clearer, more deliberate voice. Make a small, bold decision you've been putting off. The act itself begins to send feedback to your brain. Your brain says, oh, we're walking like a confident person, we're talking like a confident person. I guess we must be confident. The physiology of the action begins to create the emotion. This is a powerful way to pray in motion. When you pray for abundance, don't just sit and wish. Act as if you are already abundant. This doesn't mean being reckless. It means operating from a mindset of abundance. Tidy up your wallet. Treat the money you do have with respect. Be generous in small ways, perhaps by leaving a slightly larger tip or giving a heartfelt compliment. These are acts of an abundant person. Your actions become a prayer, a declaration to the universe that you are ready for more. The third technique is what I call the gratitude rampage. This is a brute force method for changing your frequency when you feel stuck in a low vibration state. The instructions are simple. Set a timer for 3 to 5 minutes. Sit down, and for that entire time, you must speak out loud and list everything you are grateful for without pausing. You can start with the obvious. I'm grateful for my home, my family, my health. But you will quickly run out of those. Then you must go to the micro level. I'm grateful for the air I'm breathing. I'm grateful for my eyelids that allow me to see. I'm grateful for this chair holding me up. I'm grateful for the color blue. I'm grateful for the taste of coffee. I'm grateful for the memory of laughing with a friend. You just keep going, a relentless torrent of appreciation. It will feel silly at first, but a powerful chemical process is happening. You are forcing your brain to scan your reality and your memory for positives. You are activating the neural pathways of appreciation over and over again. By the end of those few minutes, it is physically impossible to remain in a state of despair or anger. You have forcibly shifted your own vibration. You have tuned your instrument. Now you are in the perfect state to offer a powerful high-frequency prayer. Let us bring this all home. The greatest mistake we make in our spiritual lives is believing that we are separate from God or the universe, and that we must use words to bridge that gap. The truth is that there is no gap. The creative force of the universe is not something outside of you. It is flowing through you at all times. Your emotional body is your point of contact with this flow. Your feelings are the conversation. They are your constant, moment-by-moment prayer. When you are feeling anxious, you are praying for more to be anxious about. When you are feeling judgmental, you are praying for more to judge. When you are feeling grateful, you are praying for more to be grateful for. Your life right now is a perfect printout of your most dominant, long-term emotional states. Look around you. Your health, your relationships, your finances, they are all a reflection of the frequency you have been broadcasting. This is not a reason for guilt, it is a reason for empowerment. Because if you created your current reality with your feelings, you can create a new reality by consciously choosing new feelings. This is your divine power. This is your freedom. Stop struggling to find the right words. Stop begging and pleading. Your work is not to convince God. Your work is to tune your own being. Cultivate gratitude as if it were a garden. Generate love as if it were your life's work. Practice joy as your most sacred ritual. Your feelings are the paint, and your life is the canvas. The universe is not listening to your mouth. It is listening with perfect and loving attention to your heart. So what do you want to tell it? Chapter 5. Unblocking the pipes, clearing your inner static. If you have journeyed with me this far, you now understand a profound truth. Your life experience, including the success or failure of your prayers, is not something happening to you, but something flowing through you. You are a channel, a conduit for a divine creative energy that is always available. But for a channel to work effectively, it must be clear. Imagine the pipes in an old house. Over decades, they become clogged with rust, sediment, and grime. You can turn on the faucet wanting fresh, clear water, but all you get is a trickle of brown, murky sludge. The water from the source is pure, but the pipes it has to travel through are contaminated. The problem isn't the water, it's the pipes. Your consciousness, your emotional body, these are your spiritual pipes. And for many of us, they have become clogged over years of living. The pure energy of the universe, the answers to your prayers, tries to flow to you, but it gets blocked and contaminated by the inner static we carry. This chapter is about spiritual plumbing. It is the deep, essential and transformative work of cleaning your pipes. This is not a punishment or a chore. It is the single most loving act of self-care you can undertake. It is the sacred work of clearing out the old energetic debris so that the clear, life-giving water of grace, miracles, and answered prayers can flow freely and abundantly into every area of your life. We are going to tackle the 3 largest and most stubborn blockages that clog the human spirit. These are the 3 great saboteurs of our divine connection. First, we will dissolve the poison of unforgiveness, the heavy anchor that keeps us chained to the pain of the past. Second, we will dismantle the invisible cage of limiting beliefs, the unconscious rules that dictate what we are allowed to have and to be. And third, we will confront the subtle saboteur of doubt, the corrosive force that eats away at our faith and cancels our most heartfelt requests. This is not easy work, but it is the work that sets you free. It is the work that turns a clogged and sputtering faucet into a gushing, powerful fountain. So roll up your sleeves. It is time to clear the way for your own miracles. Let us begin with the thickest and most toxic sludge of all, unforgiveness. This single emotional state is responsible for more blocked prayers, chronic illnesses, and lifelong unhappiness than perhaps any other. We hear the word forgiveness, and our minds often recoil. We think it means condoning what happened. We think it means telling the person who hurt us that their actions were acceptable. We think it means we have to forget the pain, to pretend it didn't happen, or even to reconcile with someone who is toxic. This is a profound and damaging misunderstanding. Forgiveness has almost nothing to do with the other person. It is not a gift you give to them. It is a gift you give to yourself. Forgiveness is the act of you choosing to stop drinking poison just because you are angry at someone else. Imagine that someone has wronged you deeply. They have betrayed you, lied to you, or caused you immense pain. In that moment of hurt, you form an energetic cord, a thick, sticky cable that connects you directly to that person and that event. As long as you hold on to your anger, your resentment, and your desire for revenge, you are actively holding on to that cord. You are keeping the connection alive. This means that a part of your precious life force, your creative energy, is constantly being siphoned away from you, flowing backwards in time to that moment of pain. You are literally feeding your past with the energy that you need to build your future. You think you are punishing the other person by holding on to the grudge, but they are most likely out living their life, while you are the one who remains tethered to the trauma, reliving it over and over in your mind, feeling the same painful emotions as if they were happening right now. You are anchored to a shipwreck, and you are wondering why you can't sail into a new and beautiful harbor. The anchor is your unforgiveness. Forgiveness is the act of taking a sharp, gleaming pair of scissors and cutting that cord. It is declaring, you no longer have access to my energy. My past no longer gets to feed on my present. I am taking my power back. The cost of not forgiving is not just spiritual, it is physical. Let's connect this to the science we learned earlier. When you hold on to a grudge, when you ruminate on a past hurt, you are keeping your body in a chronic state of stress. Your brain doesn't distinguish between a real threat and a vividly remembered one. So every time you replay that argument or that betrayal in your mind, your adrenal glands pump out stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Your heart rate increases, your blood pressure rises, your digestive system shuts down, and your immune system is suppressed. You are in a low-grade, continuous state of fight or flight. Living in this state year after year is devastating to your physical health. It leads to inflammation, which is the root of countless chronic diseases, from heart disease and arthritis to autoimmune disorders. It exhausts your body and your spirit. You cannot pray for healing while simultaneously marinating your cells in the acidic hormones of resentment. It is a biological contradiction. To heal your body, you must first heal the emotional wounds that are making it sick. To let God in, you must first let the grudge go. There are three primary forms of forgiveness that we must practice to truly clear our pipes. The first is the most obvious, forgiving others. This is for the parent who failed you, the partner who betrayed you, the friend who abandoned you, or the boss who wronged you. This is the act of cutting the cords to those outside of ourselves. The second, and often far more difficult, is forgiving ourselves. We are our own harshest judges, our most relentless critics. We hold ourselves hostage for mistakes we made years, even decades ago. We carry a heavy bag of shame and guilt for things we said or did, for opportunities we missed, for times we didn't live up to our own ideals. This self-condemnation is a brutal form of static. It broadcasts the frequency of unworthiness out into the universe, telling it, "Don't send me good things, because I don't deserve them." You must learn to offer yourself the same grace and compassion you would offer a dear friend. You did the best you could with the understanding and resources you had at the time. To forgive yourself is to accept your humanity and to finally let yourself off the hook. The third, and perhaps most subtle form, is forgiving God, or the universe itself. Many of us harbor a deep, quiet resentment towards life for the hardships we have endured. We feel angry at God for the prayers that went unanswered, for the loved one who was taken too soon, for the illness we didn't deserve, for the life that didn't turn out the way we planned. This feeling of being a victim of a cruel or indifferent cosmos is a massive blockage. It puts us in an adversarial relationship with the very source of our blessings. We are praying to an entity that we secretly don't trust. Forgiving God is about releasing the need to understand everything. It is about letting go of our demand that life be fair, according to our human definition of fairness. It is the humble acceptance that there may be a wisdom at play that we cannot see from our limited vantage point. It is a shift from saying, "Why did this happen to me?" to trusting that somehow, in a way we may never comprehend, it happened for me, for my ultimate growth. So how do we actually do this? How do we perform this sacred act of spiritual plumbing? It is a process, not a single event, and it requires courage and willingness. I will guide you through a powerful ritual of forgiveness that you can adapt for anyone or anything you need to release, including yourself. First, find a quiet time and space where you will not be disturbed. Bring a journal and a pen. The first step is to acknowledge the pain. Do not try to skip this. Spiritual bypassing, or pretending you are not hurt when you are, is not true forgiveness. You must give the wound a voice. In your journal, write down the full story of what happened. Do not hold back. Write down who hurt you, what they did, and how it made you feel. Use the language of a victim. Feel the anger, the sadness, the betrayal. Let the tears flow if they need to. Give the pain its day in court. You cannot heal what you will not feel. The second step is to recognize the cost. Now, on a new page, write about how holding on to this unforgiveness is affecting your life today. Be brutally honest. How is it impacting your health, your energy levels, your ability to trust people, your peace of mind, your relationships, your happiness? See clearly that the poison you have been holding is not harming the other person. It is corroding your own life from the inside out. This step is crucial because it builds your motivation. You must see that the price of holding on is far greater than the price of letting go. The third step is to make a conscious choice. This is a verbal declaration of your intent. Read what you have written. Feel the weight of it. Then stand up, take a deep breath, and say out loud with as much conviction as you can muster, "For the sake of my own peace, my own health, and my own freedom, I now choose to begin the process of releasing this burden. I choose to take my power back. I choose to be free." Saying it out loud is important. It solidifies your intention in the physical world. Now we move to the fourth step, the ritual of release itself. This is a visualization, a journey you will take in your mind's eye. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and take several deep, slow breaths. Imagine a beautiful, safe, and peaceful place. It could be a forest, a beach, a temple. This is your sacred space. Now imagine the person you need to forgive standing before you in this space. If you are forgiving yourself, see a younger version of you. If you are forgiving God, see a symbolic representation of a higher power. Look at them and notice an energetic cord or a set of cords connecting your body to theirs. See the color and texture of these cords. They may be thick and black like tar or red with anger. This is the energetic tie that binds you to the pain. Now, speak to this person in your mind. You can say anything you need to say. You can express your anger and your hurt one last time. "You hurt me deeply when you did this. It made me feel..." Get it all out. Then, when you are ready, you shift. You say, "But I am no longer willing to carry this pain. I am no longer willing to let this event from the past control my present. I recognize that you are acting from your own level of consciousness, your own pain, and your own limitations. I do not condone what you did, but for my own sake I release you." Then you must find one lesson. This is not about finding something good in the bad thing they did. It is about finding a strength that you gained as a result of the experience. Did their betrayal teach you to be more discerning? Did their criticism teach you to value your own opinion more? Did the hardship force you to discover a resilience you never knew you had? Find one tiny speck of gold in the mud, and then you thank them, not for the pain, but for the lesson. Thank you for being the catalyst for me to learn the lesson of. This step is about reframing the experience from a pure trauma into a difficult but ultimately strengthening lesson. Finally, with the power of your imagination, create a tool to cut the cord. It could be a golden sword, a pair of gleaming scissors, or a laser of pure white light from your heart. See yourself raising this tool, and with a decisive motion, cut through every single cord connecting you to this person or event. As the cords are severed, watch them wither and dissolve into dust. See the other person begin to fade away, or simply turn and walk away peacefully. Now look at your own body where the cords were attached. See those points glowing with a beautiful, healing golden light, sealing up the wounds and making you whole. Take a deep breath and feel the lightness, the freedom, the spaciousness in your body. You are no longer anchored. You are free. This is a practice you may need to do more than once, but each time you do it, you reclaim more of your power and clear more of the sludge from your pipes. Now that we have begun to dissolve the poison of the past, we must turn to the second great blockage, our limiting beliefs. If unforgiveness is the sludge clogging the pipes, limiting beliefs are the pipes themselves being too narrow. A limiting belief is a deeply ingrained, often unconscious assumption about life, yourself, or the world that restricts the flow of good into your life. It is an invisible cage you have built around yourself, bar by bar with your own thoughts. These beliefs are the silent software running in the background of your mind, dictating what is possible for you before you even consciously ask for it. Where do these beliefs come from? Many of them were installed in our minds when we were very young, before we had the critical faculty to question them. We absorbed them from our parents. Money is hard to come by. Don't get your hopes up. We learned them from our culture. Your worth is tied to your productivity. You need to look a certain way to be loved. We formed them from painful experiences. A business failure leads to the belief, I'm not cut out for success. A painful breakup leads to the belief, I'm unlovable. These beliefs are not harmless opinions. They are powerful commands to your subconscious mind, and they actively shape your reality. There is a fascinating part of your brain called the reticular activating system, or RAS. Think of the RAS as the gatekeeper to your conscious mind. There are millions of bits of information bombarding your senses every second. You cannot possibly pay attention to all of it. The RAS is the filter that decides what gets through. And what is the primary filtering criterion? It only lets in information that matches your existing beliefs. It is a powerful confirmation bias machine. If you have the deep-seated belief that people are untrustworthy, your RAS will scan your environment like a heat-seeking missile for any evidence that confirms this belief. It will notice the one person who cuts you off in traffic and the cashier who shortchanged you, while completely ignoring the 10 people who held the door for you or smiled at you. At the end of the day, you will say, "See, I was right. People can't be trusted." Your belief creates a perceptual filter that only allows you to see a reality that matches it. This is why you cannot create a life of abundance if you believe you are unworthy of it. Your own brain will filter out the opportunities and possibilities, rejecting a reality that doesn't fit its programming. Your prayers for abundance are being deleted by your own internal software before they even have a chance. So how do we break out of this invisible cage? How do we rewrite this faulty code? It is a 4-step process of excavation and installation. The first step is to identify the belief. You cannot change a belief you do not know you have. So how do you find these hidden programs? It is simple. Look at the areas of your life where you are the most stuck. Your struggles are giant illuminated signposts pointing directly to your limiting beliefs. If you are constantly struggling with money, there is a limiting belief about money at play. If you are chronically single, there is a limiting belief about love or your own worthiness. Look at your problem area and ask yourself this powerful question. What would I have to believe is true about myself or about the world in order to be having this persistent experience? Be a detective. For example, if you are struggling with debt, your belief might be, I'm just not good with money, or you have to struggle to get by, or I don't deserve to be wealthy. Write it down. Stare it in the face. Drag it from the darkness of your subconscious into the light of your conscious awareness. The second step is to question the belief. Once you have it written down, you must dismantle its authority. Beliefs get their power because we treat them as absolute truths. It is time to put them on the witness stand. Ask it, is this belief 100% absolutely true without a doubt? Can you find any exception to this rule, anywhere in the world or in your own life? For the belief, I'm not good with money, can you think of one time you made a good financial decision? If you can find even one exception, the belief is not a law, it is just an opinion. Ask yourself, where did this belief come from? Did I choose it, or did I inherit it from my family or society? What has been the cost of this belief in my life? How has it held me back? By interrogating the belief, You begin to see it not as a part of you, but as an old, outdated piece of software that you can choose to uninstall. The third step is to create the new empowering belief. This is the fun part. You get to be the programmer of your own mind. What would you rather believe? What belief would serve your dreams and your prayers? You must craft a new belief that is the positive, powerful opposite of the old one. If the old belief was "I am not worthy of love," the new belief is "I am whole, complete, and deeply worthy of receiving and giving love." If the old belief was "Life is a struggle," the new belief is "Life supports me and blessings flow to me with ease." Write your new belief down. It should be in the present tense, stated as a fact. This is your new truth, your new command. The fourth and most crucial step is to install the new belief. A new belief doesn't take hold just by writing it down once. You have to impress it upon your subconscious mind through repetition, emotion, and experience. You have to build a new neural superhighway, just like we talked about in Chapter 3. There are several powerful ways to do this. The first is through affirmations. An affirmation is your new belief stated out loud. Repeat your new belief to yourself several times a day, especially in the morning and before bed, when your subconscious mind is most receptive. Don't just say the words, try to feel the feeling of them being true. The second is through visualization. Spend 5 minutes a day with your eyes closed, vividly imagining what your life would look like if this new belief were your reality. See yourself living from this new truth. The third is by acting as if. Your body can lead your mind. Take one small action today that is in alignment with your new belief. If your new belief is "I am a creative person," spend 15 minutes drawing, writing, or playing music, even if you feel you are bad at it. The action itself sends a powerful message of congruence to your brain. By consistently applying these techniques, you are overwriting the old faulty code with new empowering software. You are literally widening your pipes, allowing more good to flow into your life. We have now cleared the sludge of the past and widened the pipes of our beliefs. But there is one final blockage we must address. It is subtle, corrosive, and it can undo all our good work in an instant. It is the saboteur of doubt. Doubt is the act of planting a beautiful seed of prayer in the fertile soil of the universe and then coming back every hour to dig it up to see if it's growing. It is an act of profound mistrust. It is the energy that cancels your order with the cosmos. You perform a beautiful prayer or visualization. You feel the feeling, you get into a state of gratitude, and you feel wonderful. Then, 5 minutes later, a little voice in your head whispers, "That was silly, it's not going to work. When has it ever worked before? You're just fooling yourself." That is the voice of doubt, and when you give your attention and your energy to that voice, you have just sent a second contradictory prayer out into the universe. The first prayer was a signal of "Thank you, it is done." The second prayer was a signal of "Never mind, I don't believe it." The universe, receiving these two opposing signals, becomes confused. The net result is a neutral, nullified request. You have pressed the gas and the brake at the same time, and you are going nowhere. The root of doubt is often what we can call the two-mind problem. We make a request with our conscious mind, the mind that wants and dreams. But our subconscious mind, the vast, powerful warehouse of all our old beliefs, fears, and past experiences, is often running a completely different program. It is the subconscious mind that whispers, "Be careful, don't get your hopes up. Remember what happened last time." Doubt is the smoke that signals a fire of inner conflict between what you want to believe and what you have been programmed to believe. So how do we overcome this inner saboteur? We cannot simply fight it or ignore it. We must learn to manage it with wisdom and cultivate a resilient faith. The first principle is to surrender the how. Much of our doubt comes from our ego's desperate need to control and understand the process. We send out a prayer for more income, and then we immediately start worrying, how will it happen? Should I get a second job? Should I ask for a raise? I don't see any possible way. This frantic attempt to figure out the how is a form of doubt. It implies that if you can't see the path, it must not exist. Your job is not the how. Your job is to be crystal clear on the what, your desire, and to generate the feeling of it being done. The how is the domain of the universe, of divine intelligence. Its creativity is infinitely greater than yours. Your job is to place your order with the cosmic catalog, The universe's job is to handle the shipping and delivery. To surrender the how is to trust that the delivery will be made, even if you don't understand the logistics. A powerful practice to cultivate this trust is to start an evidence journal. Get a notebook, and every single day without fail, write down at least one piece of evidence that the universe is working in your favor. It does not have to be a big miracle. It could be a synchronicity, like thinking of a friend and then they call you. It could be finding a parking spot right at the front. It could be a stranger's smile that lifted your spirits. It could be a beautiful sunset. Your job is to train your mind, to train your reticular activating system, to look for proof of support, not proof of lack. When you consistently gather evidence of grace, you build the muscle of faith. When the voice of doubt appears, you can open your journal and say, but look at all this proof, I am supported. Things are working out for me. Finally, learn to relate to your doubt in a new way. When a doubtful thought arises, do not fight it. What you resist persists. Instead, personify it. Imagine your doubt is a small, scared child, or a little gremlin on your shoulder. Its intention is actually good. It is trying to protect you from disappointment. So when it pipes up, you can mentally turn to it and say with compassion, "Oh, hello, doubt, I hear you. Thank you for trying to keep me safe. I know you're just scared. But I've got this. The adult is in charge now. You can just relax." By acknowledging it with love instead of fighting it with fear, you take all the power out of it. You are not your doubt. You are the loving awareness that observes the doubt. The work of clearing your pipes is the great work of a spiritual life. It is an ongoing practice, not a one-time fix. By consistently practicing forgiveness, you unchain yourself from the past. By consciously rewriting your limiting beliefs, you create new possibilities for your future. And by lovingly managing your doubt, you protect the sacred seeds you have planted. With your pipes now clear, wide, and protected, you are no longer sending out a weak, contaminated, or contradictory signal. You are now a pure, coherent, and powerful channel. You are ready. You are ready to learn the precise formula for sending a prayer so powerful that the universe cannot help but respond. Chapter 6. The 4 Pillars of Powerful Prayer. A new framework. We have arrived at the heart of our work together. We have journeyed through the wilderness of our own frustrations, understanding why our connection to the divine can feel so lost and distant. We have dismantled the old, broken models that set us up for failure. We have stood at the bridge where science and spirit meet, and seen with our own eyes that our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are not just fleeting internal events, but are powerful forces that shape the very fabric of our reality. We have done the courageous work of spiritual plumbing, clearing out the heavy sludge of unforgiveness, widening the pipes by challenging our limiting beliefs, and learning to manage the subtle saboteur of doubt. The channel is now clearer than it has ever been. The static has been turned down. Now you are ready. You are ready for the instruction manual. You are ready for the formula. This chapter is the how-to guide you have been waiting for. It is a 4-part framework for conscious creation, a sacred technology for communicating with the universe in a way that is clear, potent, and breathtakingly effective. Think of this not as a rigid set of rules, but as a dance with 4 distinct movements. Each movement flows into the next, creating a complete and powerful symphony of intention. These are the 4 pillars of powerful prayer. They are clarity, the what, conviction, the belief, feeling, the engine, and surrender, the release. When you learn to build your prayers upon these 4 pillars, you are no longer a hopeful beggar pleading for scraps from the universe. You become a master architect, a deliberate and powerful co-creator, building the life you desire in conscious partnership with the divine. This is not a magic trick that works overnight. It is a practice, a skill, and an art form. The more you practice it, the more masterful you will become. Let us now lay the foundation 1 pillar at a time. The first pillar, clarity, the art of knowing what you truly want. The first step in any creative process is to know what you want to create. This sounds deceptively simple, but it is where most prayers fail before they even begin. We often send out prayers that are vague, fuzzy, and half-hearted. We pray, "I just want to be happy," or "I need more money," or "I wish my life were better." These are not prayers. They are sighs of discontent. They are like walking into the world's most magnificent restaurant, where the menu contains every possible dish you could ever imagine, and telling the waiter, "Just bring me some food." The waiter wanting to serve you would be paralyzed by your lack of direction. What kind of food? Hot or cold? Sweet or savory? The universe is this magnificent restaurant, and it is waiting for your specific order. A vague request gets a vague or non-existent response. To achieve clarity, we must learn to distinguish between the form and the essence. The form is the specific physical manifestation we think we want. The essence is the feeling or the quality of experience that we believe the form will give us. This is a critical distinction. Let's say you are praying, "I want to win the lottery." Winning the lottery is the form, but what is the essence you are truly seeking? Is it a feeling of security, of freedom, of relief from pressure? Is it the ability to be generous with your family? Is it the feeling of not having to worry? The lottery is just one of thousands of possible forms that could deliver that essence to you. By focusing only on the single form of the lottery, you are putting your prayer in a tiny, restrictive box. You are telling the infinitely creative universe, "You must deliver my feeling of freedom in this one specific way, and I will not accept any other." You are closing yourself off to a million other pathways through which freedom and abundance could flow to you. Pathways that might be far more aligned with your soul's growth, such as a brilliant business idea, an unexpected inheritance, or a promotion to a job you absolutely love. The universe's job is to deliver the essence. Your job is to get clear on what that essence is. When you pray for the essence, you give the universe maximum creative freedom to deliver it to you in the most miraculous and unexpected ways. So, let us change our prayer. Instead of praying for the lottery ticket, you get quiet and you go deeper. You ask yourself, "What is the feeling I am truly after?" You realize it is a feeling of profound financial peace and freedom. So your new clarified prayer becomes, "Universe, thank you for bringing into my life the experience of complete financial peace, freedom and security, in a way that is for my highest good and the highest good of all." Do you feel the difference? The first prayer is a desperate gamble. The second prayer is an empowered, open-ended creation. It is a prayer of trust. This applies to every area of life. Let's take relationships. So many people pray for a specific person. "Please God, make John fall in love with me." This is a prayer for a form, and as we learned in a previous chapter, it is a prayer that often violates another's free will and leads to heartache. The work of clarity is to ask, what is the essence of the connection I am seeking? What are the qualities of the relationship my soul craves? Perhaps the essence is a feeling of being seen and understood, a feeling of deep companionship, shared laughter, mutual respect, unconditional support. So your prayer transforms. It moves from the restrictive box of "I need John" to the expansive open field of "Thank you, universe, for bringing into my life a partnership that is filled with deep companionship, mutual respect, joyful laughter, and unconditional love. I am ready to receive a love that nourishes my soul." This prayer not only respects the free will of all beings, but it also opens you up to receive a partner who might be far more compatible and wonderful for you than the person you were fixated on. It allows the universe to surprise and delight you. Here is a practical exercise to help you gain this profound clarity. Take out a journal and choose one area of your life where you desire a change. At the top of the page, write down what you think you want. The form. I want a new house. I want a promotion. I want my chronic back pain to go away. Now, underneath that, I want you to start a process of inquiry. Ask yourself, if I had this, what would it give me? What feeling would I have? Write down the answer. Then take that answer and ask the question again. Keep digging deeper and deeper until you get to the core essence. Let's walk through an example. The form. I want a promotion. If I had this promotion, what would it give me? Answer, more money and a better title. Okay. And if I had more money and a better title, what would that give me? Answer, a feeling of success and the respect of my peers. And if I felt successful and respected, what would that give me? Answer, a deep feeling of self-worth and validation. And if I felt a deep sense of self-worth, what would that give me? Answer: a feeling of being enough, a feeling of inner peace. There it is, the essence. The core desire is not actually the promotion. The promotion is just a strategy you have devised to get to the feeling of "I am enough." The true prayer, the prayer of essence, is for the experience of your own inherent worthiness and inner peace. When you pray from this place of essence, two magical things happen. First, as we've discussed, you open the door for the universe to deliver that feeling in countless ways, not just through a promotion. Second, you often realize that you can begin to cultivate that feeling right now, without any external changes at all. You can start practicing self-worth today. You can start finding inner peace through meditation. You detach your happiness from a specific external outcome, which ironically makes you a magnetic match for that outcome to come to you with ease. Clarity of essence is the first, non-negotiable pillar. Take the time to do this work. It is the act of drawing a clear and beautiful blueprint for the masterpiece you are about to create. The second pillar: conviction, the power of unwavering belief. Once you have the clear blueprint of your desire, you must pour the foundation. The foundation of all creation is belief. This is not a gentle hope or a timid wish. It is a deep, bone-marrow, unshakable conviction that what you have asked for is not just possible, but is already on its way. It is a done deal. This is the pillar that bridges the gap between your conscious desire and your powerful subconscious mind. It is the act of aligning your entire being with the reality of your answered prayer. This is the placebo effect in its most potent form. You must become the person who has already received the blessing. Hope is a beggar's frequency. Hope says, "Please, maybe, I wish." It is an energy of uncertainty that broadcasts doubt into the field. Conviction is a creator's frequency. Conviction says, "Thank you, it is done." It broadcasts an energy of certainty and trust that the universe receives as a clear, undeniable command. So how do we cultivate this unwavering conviction, especially when our current reality seems to contradict it? We do it by consciously reprogramming our minds and embodying the new reality until it becomes our dominant truth. One of the most powerful techniques for building conviction is a practice called scripting. This is where you write your own future. Take your journal and write about a day in your life, but from the perspective of your prayer already being answered. You write it in the past tense, as if you are at the end of that perfect day reflecting on how wonderful it was. Let's say your clarified prayer is for vibrant health and energy. Your scripting entry might look something like this: "What an incredible day. I woke up this morning before my alarm, just bursting with energy. I didn't feel any of that old stiffness. I went for a run in the park, and I felt so light and strong. My lungs felt so clear. The food I ate today tasted amazing, and I felt it nourishing every cell in my body. I had such a productive day at work. My mind was so sharp and focused. And now, as I get ready for bed, I feel a deep sense of peace and gratitude for this amazing, healthy, vibrant body. I am so blessed." As you write this, you engage your imagination and, most importantly, your feelings. You don't just write the words, you live the experience on the page. Doing this regularly, especially before sleep, impresses this new reality upon your subconscious mind. Your subconscious cannot tell the difference between a real event and a vividly imagined one. By scripting, you are creating new memories of a future that has not yet happened in physical time. You are building the neural pathways of your new reality, making it feel more and more familiar, more and more real. You are literally training your brain to believe that this is who you are now. This practice transforms belief from an intellectual concept into a lived, felt experience. Another crucial part of building conviction is to align your words and actions with your desired reality. You must eliminate contradiction from your life. You cannot pray for abundance and then spend your day complaining to your friends about how broke you are. Every time you speak words of lack, you are canceling out your prayer. You are reinforcing the old belief system. This requires a new level of self-awareness. You must become a vigilant guardian of the words you speak. Instead of saying, "I can't afford that," you reframe it to, "I'm choosing not to spend my money on that right now." Or, "That's not in my budget at the moment." The first statement is a declaration of lack and victimhood. The second is a statement of empowered choice. Instead of saying, "I'm always getting sick," you say, "I'm in the process of building a stronger and healthier immune system." Your words are spells. They are casting your reality into being. Speak only the words that align with the conviction you are building. Similarly, you must act as if. This is not about being fake, it is about being faithful to the future you are creating. If you are praying for a loving partnership, start acting as if you are a person who is deeply loved and is ready for love. This might mean clearing out a drawer in your closet to make energetic space for a partner. It might mean taking yourself on beautiful dates, treating yourself with the love and respect you wish to receive from another. It might mean working on your own communication skills so you can be a better partner when they arrive. These are not empty gestures. They are powerful declarations to the universe and to your own subconscious that you are serious. You are not just hoping, you are preparing. You are embodying the conviction that your prayer is on its way. A man named Jim Carrey famously used this principle. Early in his career, when he was a struggling actor, he wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered. He post-dated it for Thanksgiving 1995. He kept that check in his wallet and looked at it every day. This wasn't just a wish. It was an act of profound conviction. He was acting as if he were already a $10 million actor. He was aligning his belief system with that reality. And just before Thanksgiving 1995, he found out he would be making $10 million for his role in the movie Dumb and Dumber. He built his reality on the unwavering pillar of his own conviction. The third pillar, feeling, the engine of creation. You now have a clear blueprint and a solid foundation. But a building cannot construct itself. It needs energy. It needs a workforce. It needs power. The third pillar, feeling, is the power plant. It is the engine of creation. As we discovered in Chapter 4, feeling is the language the universe understands. It is the energetic frequency that magnetizes your desire from the realm of the unseen into your physical reality. This is the step where you breathe life into your prayer. A prayer with clarity and conviction, but no feeling is like a beautiful car with no gasoline. It looks good, but it is not going anywhere. The work of this pillar is to generate within your own body the authentic emotional signature of your prayer already being answered. It is not enough to think about being grateful. You must feel the gratitude swelling in your chest. It is not enough to think about being in love. You must feel the warmth and expansion of love in your heart. You must create the feeling first, independent of any external evidence. This is the alchemy that turns lead into gold. This is the act of tuning your radio dial to the frequency of your desired reality, so that reality has no choice but to broadcast into your life. Let's get very practical. How do you generate a feeling on command? You use the technologies of your own body and mind. One of the most direct ways is through a guided process I call the prayer activation chamber. This is a mental sanctuary you can enter at any time. Find a quiet place to sit, close your eyes, and begin by taking a few deep breaths, bringing your awareness into the present moment. Now bring to mind your clarified prayer, the essence of what you desire. Let's use the example of praying for a new, fulfilling job. First, you engage your senses. In your mind's eye, build a vivid scene of your prayer being answered. Don't just see it, live it. Imagine you are sitting at your new desk in this wonderful new job. What do you see around you? Is there a window with a nice view? What color are the walls? What is on your computer screen? Now what do you hear? The quiet, productive hum of the office? The sound of a friendly colleague's voice? What do you smell? The faint scent of coffee? The smell of new books? What do you feel? The comfortable chair supporting you? The keyboard under your fingertips? Make it as real and as detailed as you possibly can. Now you bring in the crucial ingredient, the feeling. As you sit in this imagined scene, ask yourself, what would I be feeling if this were my reality right now? The first feeling might be relief, a deep sigh of relief that the stressful job search is over. Allow yourself to feel that relief in every cell of your body. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw unclench. Feel the wave of relaxation wash over you. Then, what's the next feeling? Perhaps it's excitement, the thrill of a new challenge, of using your talents in a meaningful way. Feel that excitement as a buzz of energy in your stomach or a quickening of your heart. Then, maybe you feel a sense of pride in yourself for having achieved this goal. Feel that pride as a sense of expansion in your chest, a feeling of standing taller. And finally, bring in the master frequency, gratitude. Feel a wave of overwhelming gratitude to the universe, to God, to yourself, for this incredible blessing. Feel it so powerfully that it almost brings tears to your eyes. This is the work. You marinate yourself in this cocktail of positive emotions for 5, 10, 15 minutes. You are not just thinking about the new job. You are emotionally inhabiting the reality of it. You are calibrating your energetic signature to match the frequency of that answered prayer. You are sending out the most powerful, coherent, and irresistible signal into the quantum field. You are speaking the language of the universe in a way it cannot ignore. This is the engine of creation roaring to life. The feeling is the fuel that launches the rocket of your desire into the cosmos. The fourth pillar, surrender, the art of graceful release. You have drawn the blueprint with clarity. You have poured the foundation with conviction. You have powered the construction with feeling. Now comes the final and for many the most difficult pillar, surrender. Surrender is the act of graceful release. It is the ultimate demonstration of trust. It is the moment when you have done all you can do and you step back and allow the divine intelligence of the universe to take over. Imagine you are an archer. You choose your target with clarity. You plant your feet firmly on the ground with conviction. You pull back the bowstring with all your strength, feeling the tension and the power. This is the work of the first three pillars. But for the arrow to ever hit the target, there comes a moment when you must do one crucial thing. You must let go of the string. If you hold on, if you keep clutching and controlling, the arrow goes nowhere. It is useless. All your preparation is wasted. Surrender is the act of letting the arrow fly. Doubt and worry are the enemies of surrender. They are the spiritual equivalent of trying to run after the arrow, grab it mid-air and steer it towards the target. It is a frantic, desperate energy that creates resistance and signals a profound lack of trust in the process. When you pray powerfully using the first three pillars and then spend the rest of your day worrying if it will work, wondering when it will happen, and looking for signs with anxious eyes, you are sabotaging your own creation. You are digging up the seed. The paradox of creation is that you must care enough to generate the powerful feeling of your desire, and then you must care so little about the outcome that you release it completely. So how do you do this? You do it by shifting your focus from the outcome to the process, and from a state of needing to a state of knowing. After you have completed your powerful prayer session, your work is to drop it. You have placed your order with the cosmic kitchen. You do not need to keep running to the kitchen door and yelling at the chef. You trust that the master chef is at work, selecting the finest ingredients and preparing your meal with perfect timing. Your job now is to go back to your table, enjoy the present moment, and live your life in a state of peaceful expectation. A powerful mindset shift to aid in surrender is to adopt the attitude of this or something better. You have stated your clarified essence with Pillar 1. You have aligned your energy with it. Now you trust that the universe, with its infinite intelligence and view of the bigger picture, will deliver that essence to you in the perfect form and at the perfect time. Or it will deliver something even more magnificent than you could have imagined. This attitude releases you from the prison of rigid attachment. It frees you from disappointment if things don't unfold exactly as your limited mind envisioned. It opens you up to the magic of divine surprises. Surrender does not mean passivity. It does not mean sitting on your couch and doing nothing. It means being in a state of receptive awareness. When you surrender, you stop taking frantic, fear-based action, and you start listening for the gentle nudges of inspired action. Inspired action feels different. It feels light, easy, and energizing. It doesn't come from a place of, I have to make this happen. It comes as a sudden aha moment, a creative idea that pops into your head while you're in the shower, a sudden urge to call an old friend, or a synchronicity that leads you to the right book or the right person. This is the universe co-creating with you. This is the divine chef sending a waiter to your table with the next course. Your job is to be awake enough to notice and courageous enough to act on these inspirations without questioning them too much. So, let us put the 4 pillars together into a complete cycle. You begin with clarity, getting to the pure essence of your desire. You build upon that with conviction, using tools like scripting and aligned language to make the new reality your dominant belief. You then ignite the entire creation with feeling, emotionally inhabiting the reality of your answered prayer. And finally, you release it all with surrender, trusting the divine process and remaining open to inspired action. This is the art and science of powerful prayer. This is the dance of co-creation. It is not a formula for controlling the universe, but a framework for harmonizing with it. Practice these 4 pillars daily, make them the sacred architecture of your inner world, and then stand back and watch in awe as the universe responds, building for you a life that is more beautiful, more miraculous, and more abundant than you ever dared to imagine. Chapter 7. Beyond, please, expanding your definition of prayer. We have now traveled a great distance together, and you stand on new, solid ground. You have learned to see prayer not as a hopeful shot in the dark, but as a focused act of conscious creation. You have been given the architect's tools, the 4 pillars of clarity, conviction, feeling, and surrender, that allow you to build the framework of your desires in conscious partnership with the universe. You have learned how to ask, and how to ask powerfully. This is a monumental achievement, a graduation from a state of spiritual helplessness to one of profound empowerment. But now, your education must deepen. It is time to move beyond the curriculum of asking and into the wider, richer world of being. It is time to understand that prayer is not just something you do when you need something. It is a state you can inhabit, a lifestyle you can live. For most of us, our prayer life has been like living in a single small room of a vast and magnificent mansion. This one room is the room of please. We enter it when we are in trouble, when we are in need, when we are in fear. We go there to ask for help, for healing, for money, for love. It is an important room, a necessary room, but it is only one room. If you spend your entire spiritual life only in the room of please, your relationship with the divine will always remain transactional. It will be a relationship based on neediness and crisis. You will be forever a spiritual customer, coming to God only when you want to make a purchase or file a complaint. The universe, the source of all life, does not want to be your celestial vending machine or your emergency hotline. It wants a relationship with you, a deep, abiding, moment-by-moment connection. It wants you to explore the whole mansion. In this chapter, we are going to open the doors to the other rooms. We are going to expand your definition of prayer so that it infuses every corner of your life. We will explore the grand ballroom of gratitude, the royal chamber of affirmation, the silent library of contemplation, and the vibrant workshop of action. By learning to live in all these rooms, you will transform your spiritual practice from an occasional activity into a continuous state of being. You will move from a life in which you sometimes pray to a life that is a prayer. This is the shift from doing to being, from asking to aligning, from seeking miracles to becoming a miracle yourself. This is where the true joy and peace of the spiritual path are found. Let us now take the master key and begin to explore the rest of this magnificent mansion that is your birthright. Let us first enter the grandest room, the one filled with the most light and the most beautiful music, the ballroom of gratitude. We have spoken of gratitude before as a tool, as a way to generate the feeling frequency of an answered prayer. But now we must see it for what it truly is, not just a tool but a destination. Gratitude is not merely a means to an end. It is the state of being that is the end itself. It is the most powerful, most direct, and most joyful form of prayer there is, because it is a prayer that acknowledges that the blessing is already here. It is the master frequency that dissolves all static and aligns you instantly with the energy of love, abundance, and well-being. Let us look again at the vibrational mechanics of this. When you are in the room of please, you are in a state of supplication. Your energy is one of lack. I do not have this, so I'm asking for it. Your broadcast to the universe is centered on the very hole you are trying to fill. You are focused on the problem. But when you step into the room of gratitude, your entire energetic signature shifts. You are no longer focused on the hole. You are focused on the wholeness that already exists. You are actively scanning your reality for evidence of blessing, for proof of grace. This act of conscious searching for the good literally retunes your being. The prayer of gratitude is a declaration, thank you for what I already have. And the universe, which operates as a perfect and loving echo, hears your song of I have and sings it back to you, bringing you more and more experiences to match your state of having. It is the ultimate spiritual shortcut. If you want to feel abundant, the fastest way is not to ask for more money, but to be profoundly grateful for the money you have, even if it is just a single dollar. If you want to feel loved, the fastest way is to be overwhelmingly grateful for the love that already exists in your life, even if it is just from a pet. Gratitude closes the gap between what you have and what you want by making you realize how much you already have. The science behind this is breathtakingly clear and confirms what the mystics have known for centuries. When you genuinely feel gratitude, your brain releases a cascade of neurochemicals, including dopamine and serotonin, the same chemicals associated with pleasure and happiness. It's like giving your brain a natural antidepressant. Simultaneously, it reduces the stress hormone cortisol by over 20%. Chronic high cortisol levels lead to inflammation, anxiety, and a host of diseases. A regular gratitude practice is a literal prescription for reducing stress and inflammation in your body. Furthermore, as we touched on earlier with the HeartMath Institute's research, the feeling of appreciation causes your heart rhythm to shift into that beautiful, harmonious state of coherence. This coherent signal from your heart organizes your brain, enhances your immune system, and calms your entire nervous system. Gratitude is not a placebo. It is a potent form of internal medicine. It is a biological prayer that heals your body and mind while it attracts more blessings into your life. But knowing this intellectually is not enough. You must practice it. You must live in this ballroom. How do we do this when life is difficult and our minds are trained to see what is wrong? We do it through dedicated, consistent ritual. We have spoken of the gratitude rampage, and it remains a foundational tool. It is your emergency defibrillator for a heart that has flatlined into despair. But we need daily practices to keep the heart beating with appreciation. One of the most effective is the practice of a gratitude partner. Find a friend, a family member, or a partner who is also on this path. Each day at a set time, you each send a text or an email listing 3 to 5 specific things you are grateful for from the past 24 hours. This does 2 things. First, it forces you to actively look for the good in your day. Your mind begins to hunt for blessings, knowing it will have to report back later. Second, it creates a bond of shared positivity and accountability. Reading another person's blessings can lift your spirits and remind you of your own. Another simple but profound practice is the gratitude rock. Find a small, smooth stone, something that feels good in your hand. You can find one on a walk or even buy one from a shop. This is now your gratitude rock. You keep it in your pocket or your purse. Every time your hand touches it throughout the day, when you reach for your keys, when you put your hand in your pocket, it is a trigger. It is a physical reminder to pause, take one deep breath, and think of one thing you are grateful for in that exact moment. It could be the warmth of the sun, the taste of your coffee, the sound of a bird singing. This practice weaves tiny threads of gratitude into the fabric of your entire day, transforming it from a mundane series of tasks into a tapestry of small miracles. The advanced level of this practice, the one that truly transforms you into a spiritual master, is cultivating gratitude for your challenges. This sounds paradoxical, even insane to the ego mind. Be grateful for the illness? Be grateful for the betrayal? Be grateful for the job loss? The ego screams, no. But the soul understands a deeper truth. It understands that our greatest challenges are often our greatest teachers in disguise. The illness may teach you the profound importance of self-care and force you to slow down. The betrayal may teach you the power of your own resilience and the importance of healthy boundaries. The job loss may be the very thing that pushes you out of a soul-crushing routine and onto the path of your true calling. Finding gratitude for a challenge does not mean you enjoyed the pain. It means you have successfully extracted the wisdom from the wound. You are thanking the experience not for what it was, but for what it made you become. When you can genuinely say, thank you to the difficult boss who taught me how to stand up for myself, or thank you to the financial struggle that taught me to be resourceful and to value what truly matters, you have reached a state of profound spiritual freedom. You have realized that nothing is truly against you. Everything is for you, for your growth. When you live in this state of gratitude, your life becomes a continuous, answered prayer. Now, let us leave the ballroom and step into the royal chamber of affirmation. This is the throne room. This is where you cease to be a supplicant and you claim your divine identity. If the prayer of gratitude is thank you for what I have, the prayer of affirmation is I am this. It is not a request. It is a declaration. It is a command to your subconscious mind and a statement of fact to the universe. It is the most direct way to speak your desired reality into existence. The power of this form of prayer lies in two of the most potent words in any language, I am. In many spiritual traditions, these words are considered the name of God. When Moses asks the burning bush for God's name, the response is, I am that I am. This is not just a name, it is a description of the nature of being. It is pure, unconditioned existence. When you place words after I am, you are attaching that infinite creative power of existence to a specific quality or reality. You are literally commanding the unformed energy of the universe to take the shape of whatever you declare. When you say, I am tired, you are commanding your body to be tired. When you say, I am broke, you are commanding your reality to be one of lack. When you say, I am unworthy, you are commanding the universe to treat you as such. The subconscious mind does not have a sense of humor. It does not judge. It simply accepts the I am statements. You feed it as direct orders and gets to work making them your reality. Most of us have been unconsciously using this creative power against ourselves our entire lives, affirming our limitations, our sicknesses, and our fears. The prayer of affirmation is the conscious act of taking back control of this divine power and using it for our liberation and expansion. So how do we craft an affirmation that truly works? There are a few key principles. First, it must be in the present tense, not I will be healthy, but I am radiantly healthy and full of vibrant energy. The future tense keeps the desire forever in the future. The present tense claims it now. Second, it must be positive. The subconscious mind does not process negatives well. If you say I am not sick, the mind focuses on the word sick. You must state what you want, not what you don't want. So you say, my body is strong, whole, and in a state of perfect balance. Third, it must be personal and emotional. Use words that resonate with you and evoke a feeling. I am a magnet for wealth and abundance is more powerful than I have a lot of money. The first one creates an image and a feeling of attraction. Once you have crafted your affirmations, how do you use them to reprogram your mind? Repetition is key. You are literally carving new neural pathways, so you must walk the path over and over. One of the most potent practices is called mirror work. Stand in front of a mirror, look yourself directly in the eyes, and speak your affirmation out loud. This can feel incredibly awkward and confronting at first, because you are face to face with all the parts of you that don't believe it. But this is part of the process. Looking into your own eyes as you declare, I love and approve of myself exactly as I am, is a profoundly healing act. It bypasses the conscious critic and speaks directly to the soul. Do this every morning and every evening. Another powerful technique is to write your affirmations down. The physical act of writing engages a different part of your brain and solidifies the intention. Get a dedicated journal and write your primary affirmations 10 to 20 times each day. As you write, try to feel the feeling of the affirmation being true. You can also record yourself speaking your affirmations in a calm, confident voice. You can then listen to this recording as you fall asleep, when your conscious mind is shutting down and your subconscious is wide open and receptive. You are literally feeding your mind with new empowering truths while you sleep. But what about the voice inside that screams, you're lying, you're not abundant, look at your bank account, you're not healthy, look at your symptoms. This is the inner critic, the ego, trying to protect the old familiar identity. You do not fight this voice. You simply acknowledge it and reframe your purpose. You are not describing your current temporary reality. You are issuing a command for your future, permanent reality. You are speaking to the CEO of your life, your subconscious mind, giving it its new marching orders. You are not lying, you are prophesying. You are not faking it. You are faithing it. By consistently and deliberately using the prayer of affirmation, you are stepping into your royal power. You are remembering that you are not a creation of circumstances, but the creator of your circumstances. From the throne room of affirmation, let us now walk into the deep, profound quiet of the library of contemplation. This is the room of listening. So far, all the forms of prayer we have discussed have involved you broadcasting a signal outward. But prayer is a two-way street. A relationship where one person does all the talking is not a relationship at all. If you are constantly speaking to the universe, you will never hear its guidance, its wisdom, its answers. Contemplation or meditation is the sacred practice of getting quiet enough to hear the still, small voice within. It is the prayer of receiving. In our noisy, hyper-stimulated world, the act of being silent is a radical one. Our minds are like wild monkeys, constantly chattering, swinging from thought to thought, from worry to worry. This is the spiritual static we spoke of in the very first chapter. Contemplation is the practice of training the monkey. It is not about killing the monkey or getting rid of all your thoughts. That is impossible. It is about learning to not be carried away by every thought. It is about creating a space between you and your thoughts so you can become the calm observer rather than the frantic participant. There are many ways to enter this sacred silence. One of the simplest and most effective for beginners is a focused attention meditation. Find a comfortable place to sit. You don't need to be in a pretzel-like lotus position. A simple chair with your feet on the floor is perfect. Close your eyes and bring your attention to your breath. Don't try to change it. Just notice it. Notice the sensation of the air entering your nostrils, filling your lungs. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your chest or your belly. Your breath is your anchor to the present moment. Your mind will wander. This is guaranteed. A thought about your to-do list, a worry about a conversation, an itch on your nose will arise. The moment you notice your mind has wandered, you have already succeeded. That moment of noticing is a moment of mindfulness. Without any judgment or frustration, you simply and gently guide your attention back to your breath. You will do this 10, 50, 100 times in a single session. That is the practice. Every time you return to the breath, you are strengthening your attention muscle. You are turning down the volume of the ego's chatter. So what are you listening for in this quiet space? The answers rarely come as a booming voice from the heavens. The universe speaks in a much more subtle and elegant language. You are listening for the whisper of your intuition, that quiet gut feeling, that inner knowing that bypasses logic. It's the feeling that says, don't take that job or call that person. You are listening for inspired ideas, those aha moments that seem to drop into your mind out of nowhere when you're relaxed and not forcing a solution. You are creating the space for synchronicity to appear in your life, those meaningful coincidences that confirm you are on the right path. Contemplation is the act of creating a quiet inner landing strip so that the guidance of the universe has a safe place to land. Making time for this silent prayer, even just 5 or 10 minutes a day, is one of the most transformative habits you can ever cultivate. It is how you receive the other half of the conversation. Finally, we leave the silent library and enter the vibrant, busy, and creative space of the workshop. This is the room of prayer in action. This is where your spirituality becomes tangible. This is the understanding that your entire life is a prayer. Your every action, your every choice, your every interaction broadcasts a frequency out into the world. You can say affirmations of abundance all day long, but if you act from a place of stinginess and fear, your actions will be the louder prayer. You can pray for love, but if you treat people with impatience and judgment, your actions will be the prayer that gets answered. Your life must become a living demonstration of the reality you wish to create. This is the prayer of integrity, of congruence. What does a prayer in action look like? It looks like service. It is the act of giving without any expectation of return. It can be as grand as volunteering at a shelter, or as small as holding a door for someone, giving a genuine compliment, or truly listening to a friend in need. Every act of kindness, every gesture of compassion is a powerful prayer. It broadcasts the frequency of love and abundance into the universe. It tells the universe, I have so much love and time that I can afford to give it away freely. This creates a powerful vacuum that the universe rushes to fill with more love and abundance. Prayer in action also looks like integrity. It is the act of aligning your behavior with your highest values. It is keeping your word, both to others and to yourself. It is being honest, even when it is difficult. It is conducting your business and your relationships from a place of fairness and respect. When you live with integrity, your energy field becomes clear and strong. You become a person who can be trusted, not just by others, but by the universe itself. The universe can trust you with bigger blessings because it knows you will be a worthy steward of that energy. And prayer in action looks like creation. You were born with a unique set of gifts and talents. Using those gifts to bring something new and beautiful into the world is one of the highest forms of prayer. Whether you are an artist, an entrepreneur, a gardener, a parent, a teacher, or a chef, the act of engaging your creativity and passion is a prayer of joy and purpose. It is your soul's song made visible. When you are engaged in the work you love, you are in a state of flow, a state of alignment with the divine. You are not just praying, you are channeling. So let us now stand back and look at the magnificent mansion you have explored. You have the room of please, where you can powerfully ask for what you need. But you also have the grand ballroom of gratitude, where you can dance in the joy of your current blessings. You have the royal chamber of affirmation, where you can claim your divine power. You have the silent library of contemplation, where you can receive divine wisdom. And you have the vibrant workshop of action, where you can make your entire life a sacred offering. Do not live in just one room. A healthy, joyful, and powerful spiritual life is one that moves freely through all of them. Start your day with gratitude and affirmation. Take a few minutes in the middle of your day for quiet contemplation, and move through your world as a prayer in action. This is how you move from merely seeking a connection with the divine to becoming a living, breathing expression of it. Chapter 8. When the answer is no or not yet. This may be the most difficult chapter we will walk through together, but it is also the most necessary. It is the chapter that will test your faith, deepen your wisdom, and ultimately, if you allow it, grant you a profound and unshakable peace that is not dependent on circumstances. We have spent this entire journey learning how to become powerful creators, how to align our energy, and how to communicate effectively with the universe. You have done the work. You have cleared your static. You have practiced the 4 pillars with devotion. You have expanded your definition of prayer and have begun to live a more aligned life. You sent your prayer out into the cosmos with clarity, conviction, and feeling. You surrendered it with trust. And then, the answer was no. The door did not open. In fact, it slammed shut in your face. The relationship ended anyway. The diagnosis was not good. The business failed. The miracle did not arrive. In this moment, all the beautiful theories and spiritual concepts can feel like ashes in your mouth. A cold, hard wave of reality crashes over you, and with it comes a flood of devastating emotions, confusion. But I did everything right. Anger. Why would the universe betray me like this? Despair. It's all a lie. None of this works. And a deep, soul-crushing disappointment. If you are feeling this or have ever felt this, I want you to know that your feelings are valid. You are seen. You are not being judged. This experience of a perceived, unanswered prayer is the great spiritual crucible. It is the fiery test that separates a fragile, conditional faith from a resilient, unconditional trust. It is easy to believe in a benevolent universe when everything is going your way. But can you still trust in its benevolence when your world is falling apart? This chapter is not a collection of easy platitudes or excuses designed to gloss over your pain. It is an invitation to climb to a higher vantage point. It is an offering of a new, more profound map that can help you navigate this difficult terrain. The core understanding we must reach for is this: from the limited perspective of our human ego, we see a no as a rejection, a failure, or a punishment. But from the infinite perspective of the universe or God, there is no such thing as a no. There is only redirection. There is only a higher yes in disguise. A no is never the end of the story. It is simply a plot twist guiding you toward a conclusion far greater than the one you had written for yourself. The perceived no from the universe always falls into one of 3 categories, each one a profound act of love: the truth of protection, the truth of preparation, and the truth of a better plan. Let us explore each of these truths with the patience, compassion, and courage they deserve. Let us begin with the first and most immediate truth, the truth of protection. Sometimes the universe's no is the most loving and powerful yes to your ultimate safety and well-being. It is a divine intervention designed to protect you from a danger you cannot see, a heartache you cannot predict, or a path that would lead to your own detriment. We navigate our lives looking through a tiny keyhole, seeing only what is directly in front of us. The universe, however, has the view from the mountaintop. It sees the entire landscape of our lives, the past, the present, and all potential futures. It sees the rickety bridge around the next bend that we are speeding towards. It sees the hidden pitfall on the path we are so determined to take. And in its infinite love and wisdom, it places a roadblock in our way. It slams a door in our face. And we, from our keyhole perspective, cry out in frustration, "Why are you stopping me?" not realizing that we are being saved. A powerful analogy for this is the loving parent and the curious toddler. The toddler sees the bright, shiny red coils on the electric stove. It looks beautiful, warm, and inviting. The toddler's every desire is to touch it. With all the intention and clarity a toddler can muster, he crawls towards the stove. The loving parent sees this and immediately swoops in, picks the child up, and says a firm "no" and moves him away from the danger. What is the toddler's reaction? He cries. He wails. He feels that his greatest desire has been unjustly denied by a cruel, unfeeling parent. He cannot comprehend the danger of the stove. He only feels the pain of his thwarted desire. The parent is not punishing the child. The parent's no is the highest expression of their love. It is an act of profound protection born from a higher understanding. In our relationship with the universe, we are often that toddler. We are crawling confidently towards a job, a relationship, or an opportunity that looks shiny and beautiful on the surface. But that holds a hidden danger that would severely burn us. The universe, our loving parent, swoops in and says, "No." And we cry, feeling betrayed, not realizing we have just been the recipient of an immense act of grace. Let me share a story with you. A woman named Elena had been praying for years to buy her dream house. It was a beautiful old Victorian home in her favorite neighborhood. She had visualized it, affirmed it, and generated the feeling of living there with all her heart. Finally, after a long search, she found the perfect one. It was everything she had ever wanted. She put in an offer, her conviction absolute. But at the last minute, she was outbid by another buyer. She was utterly devastated. She felt like a fool. She felt her prayers had been ignored, her faith mocked. For months, she was in a state of grief and confusion. She had done everything right. Why had it gone so wrong? About 6 months later, a massive storm hit her city, causing widespread flooding, something that had not happened in over 100 years. The beautiful old Victorian house, being in a low-lying part of the neighborhood, had its entire ground floor and basement destroyed. The repairs would be astronomical, and the new owners were financially ruined. When Elena heard the news, a cold shiver ran down her spine. Her devastation instantly transformed into a wave of overwhelming, tearful gratitude. Her no was not a rejection. It was a divine protection of the highest order. The universe had not denied her a dream. It had saved her from a nightmare. This truth requires a deep letting go of our ego's need to know best. It requires a radical trust. How do you cultivate this trust when you are in the midst of the pain of a no? You can start by creating a reflective protection journal. This is a powerful exercise. Take some time to look back over the entire course of your life. Make a list of all the times you experienced a major disappointment, a no that broke your heart at the time, a breakup with a person you thought was the one, a job you desperately wanted but didn't get, a plan that fell through. Now, next to each of these events, write down what happened afterwards. What did that no make possible? Did that painful breakup lead you eventually to a much healthier and more loving relationship? Did that job rejection force you to find a different path that turned out to be far more fulfilling? Did that failed plan open a door to an unexpected adventure? As you do this, you will begin to see a pattern in your own life. You will build a personal library of evidence that proves that closed doors have often been blessings in disguise. This is not just a theory, it is your own lived experience. By reviewing this evidence, you train your mind to trust that the current no you are facing is likely just another entry in this journal, another story of divine protection whose ending you just haven't gotten to yet. Now let us explore the second great truth of the divine no. Sometimes the answer is not a permanent no, but a temporary not yet. This is the truth of preparation. This is the universe acting not as a protector from danger, but as a master trainer preparing you for the main event. It is saying, yes, I have heard your prayer for this incredible blessing. I want you to have it, but you are not quite ready to receive it yet. Or it is not quite ready for you. We need a little more time to prepare. Imagine a young, talented musician who dreams of playing a complex masterpiece in a grand concert hall. She prays every day for the opportunity, but her teacher, a wise old maestro, tells her, not yet. The young musician is frustrated. She feels ready. She feels her teacher is holding her back. But the maestro knows that her technique is not yet flawless, that her emotional depth is not yet mature enough to truly interpret the piece. To put her on the grand stage now would be to set her up for failure, for public humiliation that could shatter her confidence forever. So the maestro's not yet is an act of profound love and belief in her ultimate potential. He gives her scales to practice, difficult etudes to master, and simpler pieces to perform. He is building her finger strength, her musicality, her stamina, and her character. The period of waiting and preparation is the very thing that will guarantee her success when the time is right. In our lives, we are often that young musician. We pray for the big opportunity, the soulmate relationship, the successful business. And the universe, our wise maestro, says, not yet. This period of waiting is not a punishment. It is your sacred apprenticeship. The universe is lovingly giving you the scales and etudes you need to master before you can handle the masterpiece you have asked for. The boring, frustrating job you are in right now might be teaching you the patience and people skills you will desperately need to be a good leader in the business you want to start. The period of being single might be the sacred time you need to heal your old wounds, learn to love yourself, and become the whole and healthy person who can attract an equally whole and healthy partner. To receive the relationship now would be to bring your old baggage into it, dooming it from the start. Let me tell you the story of a man named Ben. Ben had a brilliant idea for a mobile app. He was convinced it would be a huge success. He prayed with all his heart for an investor to give him the seed money to build it. He pitched his idea to dozens of venture capitalists. The answer every single time was a resounding no. Ben felt like a complete failure. He gave up on his dream and, dejected, took a low-level customer service job at a large tech company just to pay the bills. He hated it. He felt his life was over. For 2 years, he was miserable. But in those 2 years, he was forced to learn things he never would have learned otherwise. By answering angry customer emails, he learned what users actually complain about and what they truly want. By sitting in on marketing meetings, he learned how to position a product. By talking to the engineers in the cafeteria, he learned about the technical challenges of building a scalable app. Without realizing it, the universe was giving him a priceless, real-world MBA. One day, his company announced a new internal innovation challenge. Employees were invited to pitch ideas for new products. On a whim, Ben dusted off his old app idea, but now he presented it differently. He used the insights he had gained from customer service to frame the problem. He used the language he had learned from marketing to present the solution. He anticipated the technical questions from the engineers. The executives were blown away. They not only funded his app, but they gave him a team and a budget far larger than anything he had originally prayed for. His app became a massive success. Looking back, Ben realized with awe that the 2 years of hell in customer service were the most crucial part of his journey. The universe's not yet was not a denial, it was a preparation. It was building the skills and the character he needed to not just launch his dream but to succeed at it. This period of preparation is often a test of your character. It answers the universe's question, how badly do you want this? Is it a passing fancy, or is it a deep soul calling that you are willing to work for and wait for? The waiting builds your resilience. It forces you to get clearer on your vision. It burns away the parts of your ego that want instant gratification. It cultivates the spiritual muscle of patience and trust. The universe will not hand you $1 million blessing if you have a $10 work ethic and a $1 level of patience. The not yet is the universe's loving vote of confidence in you, believing you are worthy of the training required for a great destiny. Finally, we come to the third, and perhaps most mysterious and beautiful truth. This is the truth of a better plan. This is when the universe says no to your good idea because it has a truly great idea in store for you. This is when the door you are banging on remains locked, not because you are being protected or prepared, but because it is the wrong door, and the universe is trying to guide you to a magnificent gateway you haven't even noticed yet. Your dream is too small. Your prayer is too limited. The universe's imagination is infinitely vaster than your own, and its plan for you is often more glorious than the one you have so carefully crafted for yourself. A perfect analogy for this is a modern GPS. You get in your car and you type in a destination. The GPS calculates a route, the one you know and expect. But then, as you are driving, the GPS suddenly says, rerouting. It starts guiding you down unfamiliar side streets. Your first reaction is probably frustration. This is not the way. I know a better route. The GPS is broken. You are tempted to ignore it and stick to your original plan. What you don't know is that the GPS has access to real-time satellite data. It knows that there is a massive multi-car pileup on your intended route that would have you stuck in gridlock for hours. The strange, unfamiliar path it is taking you on is actually the fastest, most efficient, and most graceful way to your destination. Its no to your preferred route is a yes to your timely arrival. The universe is our divine GPS. It has access to a level of information that we do not. The no we receive is often a divine rerouting, a course correction designed to lead us toward a destiny far grander than we had envisioned, or to lead us to our same destination through a more beautiful and magical path. Consider the story of a young woman named Sarah, who was a brilliant pre-med student. Her entire identity, her whole life plan, was built around becoming a surgeon. She prayed to get into a top medical school. She studied relentlessly, but she suffered from extreme test anxiety, and on the day of her crucial entrance exam, she performed poorly. Her score was not high enough to get into any of the schools she had applied to. Her dream shattered. Her life as she knew it was over. She felt a shame and a failure so profound that she could barely get out of bed. For a year, she drifted, taking a menial job in a lab to pay her bills. She was lost. One day, a friend who was a teacher asked her if she could volunteer to help with a middle school science fair. Reluctantly, Sarah agreed. As she started working with the young, curious students, explaining complex scientific ideas in simple ways, something inside her lit up. She saw the spark of wonder in their eyes. She felt a joy and a sense of purpose that she had never once felt while memorizing anatomical charts. It was a feeling of coming home. In that moment, she realized her true calling was not to be a surgeon, but to be a teacher, to inspire the next generation of scientists and doctors. She went back to school, got a degree in education, and became one of the most beloved and effective science teachers in her state. She was profoundly happy. The universe's deafening no to her plan was a thunderous yes to her true purpose. When you are faced with a closed door, the most powerful shift you can make is to change your question. The victim asks, "Why is this happening to me?" This question leads only to feelings of powerlessness and despair. The creator asks, "What is this trying to teach me?" Or "What is this trying to show me?" Or "What new door is this closed door trying to guide me toward?" These questions immediately shift you from a passive state to an active one. You begin to look for the opportunity within the obstacle. You start searching for the lesson within the loss. This is the practice of spiritual alchemy, the art of turning the lead of disappointment into the gold of wisdom and new beginnings. So when you face the silence, when you encounter the closed door, take a deep breath. Allow yourself to feel the disappointment, but do not let it define your reality. Gently, lovingly begin to hold your situation up to the light of these three truths. Ask your heart, is this a no of protection, saving me from a future harm I cannot see? Is this a not yet of preparation, lovingly training me for the blessing to come? Or is this a no of redirection, guiding me toward a better plan, a more magnificent destiny? The answer may not come immediately, but by simply asking these questions, you open yourself up to a higher perspective. You reaffirm your trust in a universe that is fundamentally for you, even when it feels like it is against you. You begin to understand on a soul level that there are no unanswered prayers. There are only answered prayers that come in three forms. Yes, here it is. Yes, and the timing will be perfect. And yes, and I have something even more wonderful in mind for you. In this sacred understanding, you will find not a denial of your power, but the deepest affirmation of it. You will find a peace that cannot be shaken by the winds of circumstance. You will find a faith that is strong enough to walk through any fire, knowing you are being guided, you are being refined, and you are being loved. Chapter 9. Building your daily practice. From ritual to lifestyle. We are drawing near to the end of our shared path in this book, but we are at the beginning of your new life. The journey so far has been one of deep learning and profound transformation. You have unearthed the faulty beliefs that have held you captive. You have learned the elegant language of the cosmos, the language of feeling. You have been given the architect's blueprints, the four pillars, to consciously build the reality you desire. You have even found a map to navigate the difficult terrain of disappointment and perceived failure. You are now equipped with a wealth of knowledge that has the power to fundamentally alter the course of your existence. But knowledge, on its own, is like a magnificent car sitting in a garage with no key. It is full of potential, but it is going nowhere. The key that turns the ignition of all this knowledge and unleashes its power into your life is practice. Consistent, devoted, daily practice. This chapter is the most practical and perhaps the most important of all, because it is about integration. It is about taking these grand spiritual concepts and weaving them so seamlessly into the fabric of your daily routine that they cease to be a practice you have to do and become a lifestyle that you simply live. The goal is not to add more overwhelming tasks to your already busy to-do list. The goal is to infuse your existing moments, your morning coffee, your commute to work, your evening wind down, with a new quality of awareness, a new depth of intention. A spiritual practice that is too complex or time-consuming is a practice that will not last. The secret to a lifelong practice is simplicity, consistency, and joy. We are going to build a simple, sustainable, and powerful daily structure that will keep your spiritual pipes clean, your energetic frequency high, and your connection to the divine open and clear every single day. We will design a brief but potent morning ritual to set the energetic tone for your day. Explore a collection of micro-practices to keep you aligned amidst the chaos of daily life, and create a peaceful evening ritual to release the day and prepare your soul for rest and rejuvenation. This is how you move from theory to reality. This is how you transform your life from the inside out, not through grand occasional gestures, but through small, consistent acts of love and awareness. Let us begin with the most crucial time of day, the first few moments after you wake up. These moments are sacred. Your mind is still soft and porous, hovering in the liminal space between the dream world and the waking world. Your subconscious mind is open and receptive, not yet hardened by the stresses and demands of the day. The energetic frequency you choose to establish in these first few minutes will act as a powerful tuning fork, setting the vibration for the hours that follow. If you, like most people, begin your day by immediately grabbing your phone to check emails, scroll through social media, or read the news, you are committing an act of profound spiritual self-sabotage. You are instantly flooding your open and vulnerable mind with the chaotic, anxious, and often negative energy of the outside world. You are handing the keys to your day over to your inbox and your newsfeed. You are starting your day in a state of reaction, of stress, and of lack. This is like carefully tuning a beautiful violin and then immediately smashing it against a wall. We must reclaim these sacred first moments. I propose a new morning ritual, a simple, powerful sequence that can be done in as little as 5 to 10 minutes before your feet even hit the floor. I call it the Sacred Sunrise Sequence. It has 3 simple parts: reconnect, appreciate, and declare. Part 1. Reconnect. Before you move, before you open your eyes fully, simply bring your awareness to your body. Feel the weight of your body on the mattress. Feel the texture of the blankets against your skin. And most importantly, feel the gentle, rhythmic miracle of your own breath. You have been given another day of life. This is not a guarantee, it is a gift. Take 3 slow, deep, conscious breaths. With each inhale, imagine you are breathing in pure, golden, life-giving energy from the universe. With each exhale, imagine you are releasing any residual grogginess or anxiety. This simple act of conscious breathing reconnects you to the present moment, to your physical body and to the life force that animates you. You are anchoring yourself in the now before the worries of the future or the regrets of the past can hijack your mind. You are saying, I am here, I am alive. Part 2. Appreciate. Now, while still lying in bed, you will activate the master frequency of gratitude. Your mind will naturally want to start thinking about your to-do list or your problems. Your job is to gently redirect it. Your task is to find at least 3 to 5 specific things you are grateful for, right in this very moment. They don't have to be grand. In fact, the more simple and immediate, the better. I am so grateful for this warm, comfortable bed. I am so grateful for the roof over my head that kept me safe and dry through the night. I am grateful that my body is resting and healing. I am grateful for the sound of the birds outside my window. As you name each thing, either silently or out loud, do your best to actually feel the gratitude in your heart area. Let it be a warm, expansive feeling. This practice, taking no more than a minute or 2, completely shifts your brain chemistry. You are starting your day not by looking at what is wrong or what is missing, but by marinating your mind in the frequency of blessing and abundance. You are priming your reticular activating system to look for more good things throughout the day. You are starting your day from a place of fullness, not emptiness. Part 3. Declare. This is where you set your conscious intention for the day. This is your prayer of affirmation, your command to the universe and to yourself. You will choose one powerful intention for the day ahead. This is not your to-do list, it is a statement of being. It is the energetic quality you choose to embody for the next 16 hours. Your declaration could be something like, today, I choose to be a vessel of peace and kindness. Or, today, I move through my day with confidence and ease. Or, today, I am open and receptive to joy and unexpected blessings. Choose one that resonates with what you need most for that particular day. Say it out loud 3 times with conviction. If you have time, you can even write it down on a sticky note and put it on your bathroom mirror or your computer screen. This declaration becomes your North Star for the day. It gives you a focal point, a theme to return to when things get challenging. It is a proactive statement of creation rather than a passive acceptance of whatever the day throws at you. Reconnect, appreciate, declare. That is it, a 5-minute practice that can radically change the entire trajectory of your day. You have anchored yourself in the present, aligned yourself with the frequency of abundance, and set a powerful, positive intention for your becoming. You have claimed your day before the world had a chance to claim you. Now you can get up, have your coffee, and face the world, not as a victim of circumstance, but as a conscious creator, armed with a clear intention and a heart full of gratitude. Now that you have set your powerful morning tone, how do you maintain that high frequency amidst the inevitable stresses and challenges of a normal day? The key is not to retreat from the world, but to learn how to engage with it from a place of centered awareness. This is where micro-practices come in. These are tiny, often invisible spiritual exercises that you can perform in seconds, anytime and anywhere. They are like spiritual power-ups that recharge your energy and realign you with your intention throughout the day. Let me offer you a menu of these powerful micro-practices. You don't have to do all of them. Choose 1 or 2 that resonate with you and start to sprinkle them into your day. The first is called threshold anchoring. Choose a physical threshold you cross multiple times a day. It could be the doorway to your office, the door to your car, or the entrance to your home. Every single time you pass through that threshold, you will use it as a trigger to perform a 1-breath meditation. As you step through the doorway, you take 1 single, conscious, deep breath. On the inhale, you silently say your day's intention. I am peace. On the exhale, you release any stress or negativity you have accumulated. This practice is brilliant because it attaches a spiritual habit to a pre-existing physical one. It takes literally 3 seconds, but if you do it 10 times a day, you have gifted yourself 10 moments of conscious realignment, breaking the spell of unconscious reactivity and stress. The second micro-practice is gratitude glimpses. This is a way to keep your gratitude muscle active all day long. The practice is simple. Set a silent alarm on your phone or watch for 3 random times during the day. When the alarm vibrates, your task is to immediately stop what you are doing. Look around and find one thing in your immediate vicinity that you are grateful for. It could be the pen in your hand that allows you to write, the comfortable chair you are sitting in, a picture of a loved one on your desk, or even the challenging project that is helping you grow. This practice shatters the trance of mindless work and repeatedly pulls you back into a state of appreciation. It keeps the frequency of gratitude humming in the background of your day. A third and very powerful micro-practice is called sending light. This is a prayer of action you can do for others in an instant. Let's say you are in a meeting and a colleague is being difficult or negative. Your typical reaction might be to get annoyed or judgmental. Instead, you can secretly send them light. In your mind's eye, just for a moment, imagine a beautiful ball of soft pink or golden light emerging from your heart and gently enveloping that person. See them being soothed and calmed by this light. Wish them peace. Wish them happiness. This act does several things. It instantly shifts you out of a low-frequency state of judgment and into a high-frequency state of compassion. This protects your own energy. It also sends a genuine, positive, energetic signal out into the universe on that person's behalf, which can have a subtle but real effect. And often, you will find that as your own energy towards them shifts, their behavior towards you begins to soften. You can do this for the angry driver in traffic, the crying baby on the bus, or the person you read about in the news. It is a simple, silent way to be a force for good in the world, one moment at a time. A fourth micro-practice is hydration with intention. Most of us drink water throughout the day. We can turn this mundane act into a sacred ritual. Every time you pick up your glass or bottle of water, take a moment to infuse it with an intention. Hold the glass in your hands and silently, or out loud, say a blessing over it. I bless this water and infuse it with the energy of vibrant health and vitality. I infuse this water with the frequency of peace and clarity. Then, as you drink, imagine you are literally drinking that quality, feeling it being absorbed by every cell in your body. This practice is rooted in the fascinating scientific work of researchers like Dr. Masaru Emoto, who showed that human consciousness could have a measurable effect on the molecular structure of water. Whether you believe the science or not, the act of infusing your water with intention turns a simple biological need into a repeated moment of conscious creation and self-love. By sprinkling these micro-practices throughout your day, you are no longer just relying on your morning ritual. You are weaving a continuous thread of mindfulness and intention through the hours. You are consistently choosing your frequency rather than letting your environment dictate it. You are transforming your entire day into a living prayer. Finally, we arrive at the end of the day. Just as the first few moments of the morning are crucial for setting your tone, the last few moments before sleep are equally important for your spiritual and physical well-being. This is your time to consciously close the day, to release its burdens, and to prepare your subconscious mind for a night of restorative rest and creative problem-solving. Going to bed with a mind full of worry, replaying arguments, or stressing about tomorrow is like trying to sleep in the middle of a construction site. It leads to poor sleep, anxious dreams, and waking up already exhausted. We must create a sacred container for our rest. I call this the peaceful dusk ritual. Like the morning sequence, it is simple, brief, and can be done from the comfort of your bed. It has 3 parts: release, reframe, and receive. Part 1, release. The day is done, you must let it go. One of the most powerful ways to do this is through a practice of conscious forgiveness, both for others and for yourself. Lying in bed, gently scan through your day. Was there anyone who annoyed you, angered you, or disappointed you? A difficult colleague, a rude stranger, a loved one you argued with? In your mind, bring their face before you, and using the principles we learned in the chapter on forgiveness, consciously choose to release them. You can say silently, "I release you from my anger. I wish you peace." This is not for them, it is for you. It unhooks their energy from yours so you can sleep peacefully. Even more importantly, you must forgive yourself. Was there a time today when you were not your best self? Did you lose your patience? Did you make a mistake? Did you fail to live up to your own expectations? Offer yourself grace. Place a hand on your heart and say, "I forgive myself for my imperfections today. I did the best I could." Tomorrow is a new day. This act of self-compassion is a powerful balm for the soul and allows you to go to sleep free from the heavy burden of guilt and regret. Part 2. Reframe. This is the act of consciously choosing what you want your mind to focus on as you drift off to sleep. Instead of letting it default to problems, you will give it a positive assignment. This is where you conduct a win and wonder review. First, you identify at least one win from your day. It could be a big accomplishment or something very small. Maybe you completed a difficult task at work. Maybe you resisted the urge to eat junk food. Maybe your win was simply that you got through a tough day. Acknowledging a win, no matter how small, gives you a feeling of competence and boosts your self-esteem right before bed. Next, you identify one wonder. This is something beautiful, surprising, or synchronous that happened. Maybe it was a beautiful sunset. Maybe it was a kind word from a stranger. Maybe it was hearing a favorite song on the radio at the perfect moment. This practice trains your mind to look for the magic and the evidence of grace in your life. By ending your conscious thought process on a win and a wonder, you are handing your subconscious mind a positive and empowering file to work with as you sleep. Part 3. Receive. This is the final step, an act of surrender and trust. This is where you hand over your problems and desires to the infinite intelligence of the universe. Your conscious mind has done its work for the day. It is time for it to rest. As you lie on the cusp of sleep, you can state a simple prayer of release. Universe, I now hand over all my worries, all my challenges, and all my desires to your infinite wisdom. I trust that you are working on the perfect solutions while I sleep. I am open to receiving guidance, clarity, and healing in my dreams. Then, let it go. Truly let it go. Imagine placing all your burdens in a beautiful box and handing it over to a loving, divine presence. This act of surrender allows your nervous system to fully relax and gives your subconscious mind permission to connect with the greater field of intelligence, where creative solutions and miraculous insights reside. You may find you wake up in the morning with the perfect answer to a problem that had been plaguing you. An answer that came to you effortlessly in the state of receptive rest. This daily structure, the sacred sunrise sequence, a collection of micro-practices, and the peaceful dusk ritual, is your blueprint for a life of integrated spirituality. It is not about adding hours of meditation to your day. It is about transforming the moments you already have. It is about making your life a living, breathing prayer. By starting your day with intention, infusing your hours with awareness, and ending your day with release, you create a powerful, positive feedback loop. Your days become calmer, more joyful, and more magical. Your connection to the universe becomes a constant humming presence in the background of your life, not a distant station you have to struggle to tune into. This is how you build a practice that lasts. This is how you don't just learn the truth, but live it. Chapter 10. Your direct line is now open. We have reached the final pages of this book, but we have truly arrived at the first day of the rest of your life. Let us take a moment to stand on this summit and look back at the vast and transformative landscape we have traveled together. You began this journey perhaps in a place of quiet desperation, a place of spiritual frustration. You came here with a question that has echoed through the hearts of humanity for millennia. Is anyone listening? You felt the deafening silence of unanswered prayers and wondered if you were doing something wrong, or if the entire promise of a benevolent, responsive universe was nothing more than a childish fairy tale. You stood before a door that seemed permanently locked, and you were ready to give up and walk away. Look at where you stand now. The door is not only unlocked, it has been taken off its hinges. The silence has been revealed not as an absence, but as an invitation. an invitation to stop shouting into the wind and to start tuning the magnificent instrument that is your own consciousness. You have learned that the static on the line was never coming from the outside. It was being generated from within. It was the static of an anxious mind, a heavy heart, and a collection of limiting beliefs that were keeping you from receiving the clear signal that has been broadcasting to you all along. You courageously dismantled the old broken model of the cosmic vending machine, freeing yourself forever from the anger and disappointment of a transactional faith. You learned that the universe is not a passive dispenser of goods, but a wise and loving dance partner, and that the perceived no's and not yet's of your life were never rejections, but sacred acts of protection, preparation, and divine rerouting. You walked across the bridge that connects the world of spirit to the world of science and saw, with your logical mind, the undeniable proof of your own power. You discovered that your brain is not a fixed piece of hardware, but a living sculpture that you can reshape with your focus. You learned that your heart is a powerful electromagnetic transmitter, and that your focused belief can and does create your biology. The mystics and the scientists, for the first time in history, are speaking the same language, and they are both telling you the same thing: you are powerful beyond measure. Armed with this new understanding, you learned the true language of creation. You put away the clumsy, inadequate dictionaries of human words and became fluent in the universal tongue of feeling. You now know that it is not what you say, but what you feel, that constitutes your true prayer. You learn to distinguish between the low, static-filled frequencies of fear, shame, and lack, and the high, clear, creative frequencies of gratitude, love, and joy. You discovered that you don't have to wait for the world to change to feel good. You can generate the feeling first, thereby calling forth the change in the world. Then you did the brave and necessary work of a spiritual plumber. You rolled up your sleeves and cleared the pipes of your own being. You faced the poison of unforgiveness and chose the freedom of release. You identified the invisible bars of your limiting beliefs and began the work of building a new, expansive, cage-free reality for yourself. You confronted the subtle saboteur of doubt and learned to protect the sacred seeds of your intentions with a fierce and gentle trust. And with your channel now clear, you were given the Master's Toolkit, the sacred architecture of the 4 pillars. You learned the art of clarity, to distill your desires down to their pure, powerful essence. You learned the art of conviction, to build an unshakable foundation of belief in your own creative power. You learned the art of feeling, to fuel your creations with the engine of emotion. And you learned the art of surrender, to release your prayers with graceful trust and let the arrow fly. You now possess a complete and effective technology for co-creating your life in partnership with the divine. Finally, you learned that prayer is not just an activity, but a lifestyle. You expanded your definition of prayer beyond the small room of please and began to inhabit the entire mansion of your spiritual potential. You learned to live in the grand ballroom of gratitude, the royal chamber of affirmation, the silent library of contemplation, and the vibrant workshop of action. You were given a simple, practical framework to weave these powerful states of being into the fabric of your everyday life, transforming your existence from a series of random events into a living, breathing, conscious prayer. You hold within you now a complete and integrated system for spiritual connection and conscious creation. The question, why don't my prayers work, has been answered. The problem was never with you, with your worthiness, or with God. The problem was simply that you had an incomplete instruction manual. You were trying to fly a spaceship using the user guide for a bicycle. Now you have the correct manual. You understand the principles. You know how the controls work. Your direct line is now and has always been open. The power was never out there. It was never in a distant heaven, in a holy book, or in a guru on a mountaintop. It has always been right where you are, pulsating within every cell of your body, waiting in the quiet chambers of your own heart. This book, these words, they did not give you any power. They were simply a mirror, designed to reflect back to you the magnificent power that was already yours. The voice you were straining to hear from the outside was your own soul whispering to you from within. So where do you go from here? You go forward into your life, not with a fragile hope, but with a quiet, confident knowing. You go forward with your new toolkit and you practice. You practice with the patience you would give a garden, knowing that some seeds will sprout quickly and others will take time. You practice with the curiosity of a scientist, observing how your inner state affects your outer world. And you practice with the compassion of a saint, forgiving yourself on the days you forget, on the days the static gets loud again, and gently, lovingly, returning to the practice the next day. Do not be discouraged by the appearance of your current reality. Your outer world is simply a lagging indicator, a printout of your past thoughts and feelings. Your real work is internal. Focus on cultivating your inner garden, on tending to your frequency, and trust that the outer world will, by immutable law, begin to shift and rearrange itself to match your new vibration. The changes may be subtle at first, a small synchronicity, an unexpected kindness, a feeling of peace where there once was anxiety. Celebrate these small shifts. They are the first green shoots, the proof that the seeds you have planted are taking root. You are a divine being, a piece of God, a fragment of the universe experiencing itself in human form. You are not here to be a passive victim of fate. You are here to be a conscious creator, a joyful participant in the grand unfolding dance of life. You are here to remember your power, to reclaim your sovereignty, and to create a life that is an expression of your highest joy and your deepest love. The silence has been broken. The line is clear. Your heart is the transmitter, and the universe is listening as it always has been with rapt and loving attention. So take a deep breath, stand in your power, and know with every fiber of your being that you are heard, you are guided, you are cherished, and you are limitlessly powerful. Your journey is just beginning. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If these ideas resonated with you and you'd like to continue learning and growing together, please subscribe for more guided meditations, weekly insights, and practical spiritual tools. Your journey is just beginning.